necessarily change the report, but I brought light into the world. I noticed there's a couple of things. Can we get updated? Is there any way I can help or something like that? Be gift, smile. If you have the financial resources, give to charities, give to your church if you go to a church. But be giving. Give something of yourself. Help others. Coach people for free if you have a skill. Be a mentor. People that are giving tend to be much happier and much more positive. It's just the way that we're wired. So I would suggest the third point under being positive, no matter what your situation, you should still be giving.
That's it. So give a part of your time, your skill, your energy, whatever you have, the talent that God gave you, put them out free of charge. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely.
Great.
And then the third one is to be productive, being productive.
Okay.
This is the bottom part of the present, positive, and productive. And no one of these is more important than the other. If you're present, but you're not positive and you don't do much, nobody wants to be around you. So you can say, well, if I show up, well, showing up's important. But if you say, well, if I'm positive, if I'm a really happy person, yeah, but if you're not present, if you're always late or you don't show up or you're not productive, you don't do anything while you're here, even if you're positive. And then you say, well, I'm really, really productive. Yeah, but if you're really negative, nobody wants to be around you. Or if you're really, if you're not here all the time or you're not here when you're supposed to be. So the third part of present, positive, and productive. Under productive, the first bullet point I would suggest is to be prepared. To be prepared. So when you're on your way into work, think about what you're going to accomplish that day. If you're a speaker, be prepared. Make sure that you've studied your material, that you have your facts and details straight, that you've practiced, that you are prepared. As a parent, read books on parenting. As a spouse, I have on my iPhone, I have a book called Just for Men. And it is recorded by a couple, but it's mostly the man who is recording it telling me the research that he and his wife did, understanding the differences between men and women. That helps me to be prepared to be a better husband. It's something that I study. Be prepared.
All the time.
Yeah, just whatever you're going to do, be as prepared as possible. You can't always be 100% prepared for everything, but some time and be prepared. Oh, but Guy, I don't have time to be prepared. Well, I suggest that the fact that you're not prepared costs you time because sometimes you make mistakes and you have to redo things. I suggest if you'll steal a little bit of time, maybe from watching less TV or maybe from stop complaining and take that time that you would have been complaining and prepare. Because the second part of being productive is to be improving. Constantly be doing something for yourself every day. Listening to this radio show is improving. People listen to the radio show because they do want their lives to be better and they know that they found a wonderful host. So be improving. Do something for yourselves every day. When you're driving in the car, instead of listening to the radio, maybe half of your commute you listen to a motivational CD. Or instead of watching a rerun of a show that you've seen twice, maybe you watch a half-hour DVD on presentation skills, on being a better manager, a better leader, a better husband. Always be improving. Always be thinking about wherever I am today, my goal is tomorrow to be better at that. So how can I improve?
That's it. Yeah, someone just said, that reminds me of something someone said, that if you're not improving or you're not preparing very well, then you're preparing to fail. If you're not improving, then you're preparing to fail. So it's all about improving on a daily basis, redoing the things every day that will inch you towards your goal and take you right to where you want to be. And the last one?
And the last point under being productive, be the best. Be the best. And in speaking, there's something called circular openings and closings, where whatever you open with, if you'll close with it, then it kind of wraps it up for your audience. I'm going to wrap this up with being the best, because remember our first point under present was to be committed.
That's right.
And those two go hand in hand. Be committed, be best. Whatever you do in life, if you are a speaker, be the best speaker. If you're a manager, be the best manager. If you're a mom, be the best mom. If you're a husband, if you're a child, be the best child you can be to your parent. When you look in the mirror, it all boils down to, at the end of the night, when you look in the mirror, you can look in there and say, I was the best me I could have been today. I could not have done any better. And the reality is, most days you look back and say, I could have done something better. We don't beat ourselves up. We say, tomorrow, I'm going to improve on that. And then tomorrow I'll be able to say I was the best me I could be every day. So every single day, if we'll look in the mirror at the end of the day and say, I was the best me I could have been, I absolutely believe you will have success in every area of your life.
Thank you very much. This is an eye-opener. It's something that opens the eye. I can't thank you enough for giving me time, giving this time. I know you have a very busy schedule. You run around from the US to Europe and back again, and maybe one day to Africa. Who knows? Because many of our listeners are Africans, okay? And I hope one day you would have time to go to Africa and, teach us exactly in practical terms all the things you've just said. One day you will have the time to do it.
It's actually on my bucket list of things to do is to get to Africa, especially South Africa. I really, really do want to go there. Australia is this year, but I may make it to South Africa next year. I really do want to go down there.
Oh, great. That'd be wonderful. So how can our listeners, know, how can we get to know you very well? Do you have a website, where we can go to or something like that?
I do. Thank you for asking. My website is the word success and then ANDBEYOND, success and beyond. It's all one word, SUCCESS.
Yes.
ANDBEYOND. The number 4 and the letter U, Success and Beyond for You. Okay. Our whole company is focused on other people, creating success for you. So the name of the website is successandbeyondforyou.com.
Oh.
As you know, my name is Guy Burns.
Yeah.
Don't Google Guy Burns. That won't work for you because Guy and Burns are both generic. You'll end up with a guy burns up in his car and a guy burns up his house. So it's pretty hard to Google Guy Burns because both of my names are too generic.
Okay. So
Success and Beyond, you'll see some of the products that we have available, some of the new products that are coming out, and some of the features, some of the blogs that are up. It's a brand new website, and there's still some of the content is being put up now. So within the next 3 to 4 weeks, it will be a completely robust website with some downloadable freebies that you'll be able to have on there. In fact, there's some free things on there now that you can go to and pull down a free report if your listeners wanted to get something like that.
That's very nice. I hope one day you will come back and give us more talks about. I hope one day you will do that.
I would love to do that, and I know, in fact, next month I get to see you face to face, hopefully, because I'll be in Paris next month. So maybe we can set up and schedule something next time I'm in town.
That's great, very much. The American Guy Burns, who has accepted to really give us the interview about his products, what he does, and all the rest. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Laundry.
Thank you. This podcast was brought to you by the Motivational Radio France.
Their host, yet another wonderful program in today's motivational and inspirational hour program. The title of today's program is "What is the relationship between attitude and success in life?" This program is divided into 3 parts. First, I shall look at the advantages of attitude as it relates to success. Second, I shall also try to define what bad attitude is and what we stand to lose if our attitude is not right. And finally, the third one, I shall try to find how can one improve his or her attitude. William James once said, and I quote, "The greatest discovery of my generation is that a human being can alter his life by altering his attitude of mind." That's one of the greatest things that can happen to you is when you can find motivation to do what you are required to do without waiting for someone to bully you around or tell you what to do at any point in time. How can you react to events in your life? Attitude is the junior brother to success. What I am trying to say here in essence is that your behavior and reaction to events in your life determines what you get. When one decides to move, his or her body physiology changes and responds to his wishes of the mind. We are all judged by us, whether we want. And if we want to achieve, then we must be aware of our attitudes and interpretations we give in our life. It is not the knowledge that gives you what you want, but rather with the knowledge that you have. Knowledge is not power, but a potential power when acted upon. There was a study carried out at the Harvard University which showed 5% of your success will depend on your attitude, and the other 15% will depend on knowledge. By knowledge, I mean how well you do your job. A lot of people will tell you that knowledge is power, but I think that knowledge is power. It is used by the beholder. Yes, today's topic is all about attitude. And so let's try to define what attitude is all about. There are many, many definitions of attitude, but I found this one very, very interesting. Attitude is the interpretation you give to a particular event in your life. That means your choice of reaction determines your result. The way you react to the things that happen to you, that gives you your attitude. So you need to develop successful attitude if you want to succeed. Because if you want to fail, you can also develop a failure attitude. And that, so that you will be satisfied that you have failed. Attitude is a good predictor of success. So when you have a very good attitude, you will gain success. Success is always very attractive. You attract success by the way and the things you become. The thing you become determines your success. Your success is determined to a large extent by who you become. How do we develop good attitude then? First, try and stay around those that inspire you. I am very sure you have friends who can inspire you, those you can look up to, those that you can emulate. Try to stay around these people so that they become your own reference point. They become your own mirror. From then, you can copy them, but not copy them sheepishly. Try to copy their positive, because let's face it, everybody has negative aspects as well. But try to copy only their positive aspects. Second, try and help those who are in worse shape than you are. See, the more you give, the better you become. You need to give. We are our brother's keeper. Don't forget you have 24 hours in a day. And so you can use part of that time to help those who do not, who are in a worse shape than you. That is one way of improving your attitude. That's one way of in life. Because when you give, you get. If you don't give, sometimes you don't get. Someone said, happiness is an attitude. We either make ourselves miserable or happy and strong. The amount of work is the same. This is said by Francisco Rigler. The next one is by thinking positive. When you are very positive about life, when you are positive about yourself, when you are positive about everything around you, life becomes very interesting. You see, when you look at things in a positive light, you begin to see great things happening to you. Because if you keep on reflecting, if you keep on focusing on the negative, it expands. Okay? So try as much as possible. I'm not saying that it is easy, but try as much as you can to focus on the positive aspects of things. Try to look for the positive things in any particular situation, because there is. Just find it. If you find it, focus on it. And the more you focus on that positive aspect, it expands. If you look at the negative aspect, it expands also. So try as much as possible to focus on the positive aspect. Then you would begin to see your attitude change. People around you would notice it. Next one is by being nice to people. You see, when you are nice to someone, the person would somehow try to pay you back in your own coin. And if you're nice to him, he will try to show you niceness also. You cannot, it's very impossible for you to do nice things to people and they show bad things to you. It's practically impossible. Okay, so try to be nice to people, because the more you are nice, the nicer you are, the better things around you will change. The better people will treat you, the better people will feel about you. When they see you, they say, oh, that guy is good, or that lady is not too bad. Okay? Just because of the fact that you are nice to them. Try to be nice. What do I mean by nice? Say, for example, hello. When you see somebody in the morning, you say hello, good morning. It wouldn't cost you anything. If you see somebody in the afternoon, say hello, good afternoon, how are you? It wouldn't cost you anything. See, the more you say hello to them inwardly, so when next he sees you, he would always also reply you back and say, listen, good afternoon, how are you today? And all that. And that's it. So they said respect is reciprocal. It is give and take. When you respect somebody, the person would somehow respect you back. Okay, it's give and take. The next one is by sharing. Like I have said it before, you've got to share. Share your time, share your energy, your knowledge, and whatever you have. Try to share. We are social animals indeed. Human beings are social animals. We're here, nobody's an island. We're here to share with one another. In fact, life is much better when you are with someone else. If you're alone, you might enjoy it for a few times, but not all the time. Okay? But when you are with someone that you like, or somebody that likes you, life becomes more interesting, becomes good. So both of you would enjoy life as much as possible. The next one is by showing respect. You see, like I said, respect is reciprocal. It is give and take. So when you give out respect, somehow somebody will respect you back. They will pay you back in your own coin. So try to respect people. Try to show them respect. The more respect you show, the more people will respect you back. It doesn't change. Next one is by obeying rules and regulations. You see, why do we have lawyers? Why do we have policemen? It's because of the fact that people have a tendency to break the law. And that's why we have lawyers, policemen, everything that has to do with law and order. So the more respect you show to the law, the better your life becomes. You wouldn't fall into problems, for example. So you try to show respect, and your attitude will change. See, when you see, for example, you're driving, you see the traffic light. If it is red, don't try to cross. It's not allowed. You know that. So you respect, and people around you will say, "Oh, that guy is not too bad. He's showing respect." So try to show respect to people. Show respect to constituted authority. Show respect to your parents. Show respect to your teachers. Show respect to everybody around you. But this comes back in multiple fold. To say here. Next one is by putting yourself in someone's shoes. What am I trying to say here? For example, if I know that if I slap somebody, I know that, or if somebody slaps me, it will hurt me. So I wouldn't do that. I know that it hurts to slap somebody. So don't try to do something that you know would hurt somebody. In that simple common sense. If you do that, that's not very good. You know it. So don't try to hurt somebody, or don't try to do something that will hurt somebody else. So try to be a fair player. Be neutral, okay? Be neutral, because what you give out is what comes back. If you slap somebody, somehow, somewhere, somebody will slap you back one day. Even if it's not on this spot, it might come in another form. It might come somewhere, someplace, and it must come back. So that's the heavenly law. It pays you back. So be and don't hurt people. Don't try to. It's not good. And finally, do not do to others what you would not like others to do unto you. Brings up everything I have been saying. Try to find a way of not hurting other people, of respecting people, of showing love, of showing respect, of showing everything that is good. Because the more you show, the more people will show you back in your own likewise. So that's what I'm trying to say here. Attitude is the game, and for you to have a good, you really need to know who you are. You need to know who you are, what stuff you are made of. See, when you are really, when you know yourself, very, very paramount for you to really go into life and discover exactly what life is all about. So I've been talking about attitude today. Attitude as it relates to success. I have said that success can be achieved if you have a very wonderful attitude, if you have a good attitude. When you're working in your place of work, the way you behave, the way you act, people are looking at you, and your boss or whoever that is supposed to promote you would know that this man, if I give him this authority, he can maintain it. So if you are not a trustworthy somebody, then you are not. Somebody might find it difficult to trust you, to give you an authority to hold, for example. So when you see somebody, when you are in the midst of people, try to show good attitude so that they also will say, as this man is, or this lady is somebody I can trust. See, that leads to success. That leads to getting results in life. You will get results based on what you give out. If you don't give out, you don't receive. If you give out good manners, you get good manners back. But if you give bad manners out, you can be sure you will receive bad manners. So try as much as possible to give out good manners, because it will come back in multiple fold. That's what I'm trying to say here. Okay, so today's program is all about how good attitude leads to success. When you have good attitude, success nearly at the end of the road, you will get it. What you need to do is to be conscious of your attitude. Try to be somebody people can say, hey, that guy I can trust. That guy is a good man. That guy is a good guy. He is somebody I can trust. So that when anything that is positive comes around, they would not forget you. They would give you the job. They will give you the mandate to lead other people. That's what I'm trying to say. So attitude is the main thing. Try to be good. If you show goodness to people, people will pay you back in your own coin. If you show badness to people, they would also show you bad or treat you bad in your own coin as well. So try to be good. Just select goodness. Select positive attitude so that people respect you for who you are and what you represent. So let me run down to how to develop good attitude. Try to stay around those who inspire you. Try to help those who are worse than you. You have to think positive. You have to be around nice people. You have to share your time. You have to show respect. You have to obey rules and regulations. You have to put yourself in someone's shoes. Do not do to others what you would not want others do unto you. Ladies and gentlemen, the summary of what I call attitude. Your attitude represents who you are. That's the way people judge you. People judge you by your actions. They judge you from what you represent. They judge you from what they see of you. They judge you from all the things you represent. So try to represent something good in somebody's mind, so that whenever he or she thinks about you, he will feel good thinking about you, not negative. Not, oh, that man, forget him, it's not good. Do not allow people to think of you in that negative light. It is not good for you. So that when time comes, people will say, oh, that man is a very nice man, or that lady is a very nice lady. And that is the essence of life. The essence of life is when how would people think about you? How would they remember you? How would people feel you are? Who are you? How would people feel about you? That's exactly what I'm thinking of saying here. The way people feel about you will determine somehow your reputation. And do not forget, you can destroy your reputation in a day. In 1 minute, you can destroy a reputation. Something you've been creating for years, you can destroy your reputation in just one stroke, and that's it. So be careful. Try to have good attitude, because it helps you at the end of the day. It helps you. People will think about you as a positive person, as a nice human being, as somebody they can rely on, because trust is the name. If people trust you, they can give you things. If they don't trust you, they will not give you things. So try to be a trustworthy human being. People can rally around. People can come around and help you when you are in problem, for example. See, because if somebody doesn't have a very good attitude, he is not your brother. That's it. So being a brother means that you are in a position to help people. You are in a position to really drive somebody to good and help him out when he's in problem. So ladies and gentlemen, what I see as good attitude, what you can do, and how it can help you in life.
This podcast was brought to you by the Motivational Radio Friends
from Paris with your host, Akoha.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today I am privileged to be speaking to a Nigerian who is a magazine owner. He is really going to speak to us today about his vision, about the magazine, about the Nigerian dream and social networking. His name is Livington Donovan. Am I right?
Yeah, John Darlington.
Please speak to our listeners. I'd like to ask you the first question. Please tell our listeners.
My real name is John Darlington. I was born at Urumi in the north central part of Edo State. I have a formal education, completing a master's degree, partly at then Edo State University, Ekoma, and Amadubele University, Zaria. I'm coming down from ABU, Zaria. In my capacity as a manufacturer, I have an ultra-modern mineral water.
Wow, you are a man of many parts, if I could start with that.
Sure.
Okay, very good. So how did you move from being a businessman into magazine? How did you make that change?
Yeah, that's because of my love and passion for it.
So you had the love for writing and reading.
Yeah, like I did tell you before, now my time is fully taken up between reading and writing. Mm-hmm. And again, I was a lecturer, mind you, and so while that I lectured, my time was fully taken between reading and writing. I prepared my notes before going to the lecture. So then it eventually became a part of me.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, good. Now, let's go to the third one. What is the core message and how can it benefit the reading masses? I mean, the magazine we're talking about now. What is the core message? What's the main information here?
The message of our magazine is built on the maxim, know thyself. Know thyself. It shall further serve as a medium or provide a platform for discussions of communication issues. To educate the inquiring mind of their constitutionally protected rights. I did tell you before in the course of our discussion.
Tell us how we can get access to this magazine. How do we? Do you have a hardcover? Do you have a hard copy? Is it online?
It is simple. If you want to get access to this magazine, it is simple. There are two things you will do. And just type www.nigerian.com, then it comes into view. Then you click on the news, and eventually it takes you straight to the news platform where you can read the news and do whatever you want to do there. Provision so you can make comments, and that's all. Then again, we're going into the hard copies. Of course, this is going to be our the middle edition will be coming anytime now. We're coming up anytime now.
Mm-hmm.
And we have the domain that has just been prepared. I'm going to have the domains delivered to the National Conference Commission, Abuja, Nigeria. Of course, and the medium copy is going to follow. The middle edition, is going to follow almost immediately.
Okay. So it's anybody who wants to have access to the magazine can go online and read.
Online, and you're going to have it at the newsstands anytime soon throughout Nigeria and Africa and overseas. Yeah.
Okay, that's very good. There's another thing, like I said, that really intrigued me when I saw your magazine, when I saw your features online. You said you dream. What is it? What's the Nigerian dream?
That we have the Nigerian dream is not in dispute. It's not in dispute. And these borders, like I told you before, on sowing the seedlings of national transformation. You see, Nigeria as it is today suffers from too many problems. You know as well as I know that life in Nigeria, in fact, at times are bad in Nigeria. Nigerians suffer from too many problems, and this range from their individual complexity to frustration factor. You have the poor, you have the common wage earners. Unemployment has become a national phenomenon promoting crimes, particularly violent ones. I did tell you this before. So the fact is that Nigeria is a country that boasts of about 117 million today, but how many of them are gainfully employed? Corruption has taken the center stage. People are suffering. Do they even know their rights? They are leaders oppressed. You have Boko Haram insurgency in the north, northeastern flank of the country. Mm-hmm. People die every day. Is that the vision for Nigeria? Is that what the founding fathers? Is that the legacy they bequeathed for us? They bequeathed to us? No. So the thing is that we want in Nigeria where all the various ethnic nationalities, all the various ethnic nationalities will have right to exercise the freedom of religion, freedom of speech, where everybody will be happy. We want a Nigeria where the dichotomies and polarities shall be dissolved, that we eventually usher in a moment of utter peace. That is what the Nigerian dream stands for.
Okay. So you're speaking about a Nigeria that is peaceful and people get employed, working.
Yeah.
But don't you think the bane of Nigerian problem is education?
That is not in dispute. But I think the federal government of Nigeria has been trying in that regard. Forget about the ASU thing that came up the other day where the lecturers had to down tools, and I think that is politically motivated. Sorry, I'm not taking side with anybody, don't get me wrong.
Okay.
That ASU strike that paralyzed academic activities throughout our terrestrial institutions in Nigeria in the not too distant past is politically motivated. That is what I believe, and that is what I see.
Mm-hmm. I understand what you mean. And do not forget, many of our listeners are not Nigerians. Many of us, so they might not even know what ASU is.
Okay, the academic staff in of university.
Right, in Nigeria. ASU, yeah, okay, good, very good. In Nigeria. Okay. Now, the thing is, because I am also in the teaching world, I teach, okay? And when I discover the rate of illiteracy in the country, I discovered, for me, I believe about 60% of the country's problem starts from illiteracy. The fact that majority people who are illiterate are more than those who are literate. So from that point of view, I guess it becomes a big problem, because how can you give employment to somebody who is not educated? I mean, somebody who didn't go to school, for example. I mean, this is very difficult.
This thing is a matter of choice.
Okay.
Because I passed through school a very, very, very hard way. The matter of choice is that I passed through school in a very, very, very hard way. My parents, I have a very, very poor background. I want to play with you. I have a very, poor background. But I decided, I saw myself through school. And how did I do that? If I tell you the way I went to school, you will laugh. And everybody will laugh. Of course, our listeners will laugh. Yeah. Because what I said is a matter of choice is that, you see, I saw the need to go to school. I had no sponsor. I had nobody that stood by me and said, okay, you go to school. I'm going to stand by you. I'm going to sponsor you. I'm going to finance your studies. No, I hadn't no one like that. I saw myself through school because I wanted. Of course, the schools are there in Nigeria. You have so many universities across the country. Mm-hmm. You have modern colleges. You have polytechnics. You have colleges of education. This country, I mean, there is virtually nowhere you go in Nigeria where you don't find it. Right. In my own state alone, Edo State, we have 2 universities there. Mm-hmm. You're aware. There are colleges of education. I said federal polytechnic. So there are so many. The fact is that our children do not want to go to school, and you cannot blame that on the government. They don't want to go to school. I wanted to go. There was already sponsor. Nobody was there for me. I resorted to menial job just to keep myself. Okay, now let me tell you. When I was in 100 levels, okay, mm-hmm. You will know this 80 leaves, this long note, 80
right.
leaves.
Sure.
Okay. That was the book I used, the notebook I used for 8 courses. Just imagine that.
Wow. Okay, so
that is what I said. It depends on it's a matter of, it is what you choose to do. If you want to go to school, the schools are there for you to go. Of course, I became a beneficiary of the bursary award some time ago.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And I did not throw away that money. I started trading with it. I was doing petty trading with it. Of course, I was a constant absentee, and my lecturers knew me for that day.
Are you saying, in one word, that success is a choice?
Sure, exactly that's what I mean. It's not in dispute at all.
That's very profound. Because the thing is, if you look at it from that angle, it's very difficult. Maybe you are very lucky. I don't know if I could put it that way. That
How do you mean I'm lucky?
Let me put it correctly.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say, luck here is the fact that you knew from the beginning that school is very important. Let us assume that somebody who doesn't know that, and he has to be pushed to go to school, and then later he discovers that school is very important. I'm only trying to say here, because you said it's a choice. Okay, you have to choose to go to school. But I'm putting it to you that when you are very young, you might not know the importance of school. You are one of a kind, if I should put it that way, that you knew from the beginning that school is very important, and you did all your best to do it, to go to school.
If schools were not important, why did the government have to set up schools? So even the missionaries that came in the early years of Nigerian independence, why the post-independent era, where were schools put up? Where were schools erected if schools were not important?
I'm not saying it's not. I'm not trying to say it's not. What I'm trying to say is the fact that you said you knew from the beginning that it's very important, isn't it?
Sure.
That's what I'm saying. It's another child at your age at that particular time who did not know that school is very important. How do you help such a person? That's exactly what I mean.
Yeah, I know exactly where you're going. You see, primary school, was free in those days.
Yes.
Even to this day, it's free.
Mm-hmm.
I attended the primary school. It was free.
Mm-hmm.
Then after primary school, then I went to a secondary school, which was free in our days during the time of the defunct Unity Party of Nigeria.
Okay.
And I was a beneficiary of Awolowo's free education program. Then, when I rounded off my secondary school, then the need to go to university arose, and there was nobody there for me. right? All my mates probably are children from, whose parents were well off, went to university, and I saw the need, to follow suit, but there was nobody there for me.
Okay.
So after wasting about 3 years at home, I took it up as a challenge. I said, no, I must go to school. Then I registered for university matriculation examination, which I passed. Then I just went because I understood then that there was a bursary award. So my what I said is a matter of choice is that, considering the fact there was bursary, award there, and I decided to see if I could benefit from the bursary award. It was a package then given by the government to students, right? So I too became a beneficiary of it. I registered, I passed, and I applied for the university matriculation examination, and I passed. Then I registered for the courses. I was doing that 500 naira then. That is what we were paid in those days. I took the 500 naira and I decided to set up a trade retreat. Then eventually money started coming in. I saw me through school. So that's why I said it's a matter of choice. Okay,
good. So let us say you are a self-made man.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah, sure. There was nobody there for me. I can tell you, frankly, there was nobody there for me. I didn't on that radio. I saw myself through school. I financed my studies. I did it for myself.
Wow. That's great. So maybe that gave you the tenacity to pursue what you're pursuing today.
Exactly.
Okay. That's wonderful. I mean, could I say it's a success story? How about that? No, because our listeners would love to know your story. I mean, this is in fact, this is the interesting part of it. Listeners would not love to know because we are into motivating people, empowering them, mentoring them, coaching them. And I'd like to give voices to people like you who have made it somehow in spite of all the difficulties. And could you tell our listeners the recipe? I mean, what is it? It's somebody who is listening to you today, who is somewhere in Lagos and who doesn't have anything. What do you need to tell him?
Determination, they often say, is the key to success. Once you are determined to achieve a particular thing, and you put in every effort, nothing is ever going to stop you. That was exactly what I did. Okay. I practiced, several self-denials, so many self-denials, just to see myself through school. You see, everything revolves around determination. Whenever you are determined to do any particular thing, nothing stops you. It's just like trying to jump, to stop a moving train. It is not possible. So I was determined, to go to school, and I was determined to go to school. I put in every effort. In spite of every agonizing distraction, I made sure that I pursued it vigorously and I succeeded.
This podcast was brought to you by the Motivational Radio Friends.
Very well, and how are you over there?
We are certainly very, very good. No problems.
Wonderful.
Yes. So I met you some 3 months ago, and I was very impressed by your actions and what you did and the impressions you left on me. And ever since I started the radio program, I've always thought about you, and why I said that let me give it a shot and get you online, so that we can rub minds and thrash issues out. And when I read your book, I read this book in 2 weeks. It was really, really very, very good. An eye-opener for me. I have it here. Although I have read it at least 2 times, and all the things give very practical examples. And so our many listeners would like to hear your views. They'd like to really get some insight into how somebody can get financial freedom. So what is financial freedom, sir?
Yes, thank you very much, Lunch, for having me on your show.
Thank you.
Perhaps I could start by giving some background to why that book was written. That is financial freedom for every busy professional. The first book in the series I also wrote was Financial Freedom for Every Youth. And what started me on that path was an incident in a place I invited to speak. That was in Enugu State in Nigeria. And I had a couple of hundreds. But before I started, the gentleman that is to me told a story. He did talk about a young girl bathroom slippers. And at that time, bathroom slippers were just, a pair of bathroom slippers was just 60 naira, which is about 40 cents. And, but this girl couldn't afford it. And then a man comes along and says to her, so why don't you sleep with me? And I'll buy you a pair of bathroom slippers. And this girl did. And he got a pair of bathroom slippers. And at the same time, she got pregnant. Now, when I heard that story, I didn't know such a thing. And at that time, I was still working with Shell. And I knew there was poverty in the land, but never occurred to me the poverty was to such a level that girl for the sake of bathroom could sleep with a man. Now, if you want to sleep with a man because you want to, that's a different thing. But you sleeping with a man because you can afford 16 naira is a different thing. And so I came up with this book to tell the young people, hey, listen, it's not that bad. You are more powerful than you can actually realize. You know, you have potential in you. You just need some bit of wisdom and knowledge to set an enterprise going that can fund you. So going specifically to your question, financial freedom is not necessarily an amount of money. It is being in that, it's a status, being in a position that you are able to do the things you want to do on this earth without money being an issue. And so you are able to pursue your dreams, you're able to pursue your destiny, not being stopped because there's no money, but you're actually in that life. So it's not an amount of money, but it's more like a status that we all need to work on achieving, allow us to do whatever we want to do, because every dream has a financial implication. Every desire has a financial component. Therefore, if we don't master our financial life, we're going to be very miserable, and many times we'll be unable to accomplish things that we'll do. And that's basically what financial freedom do for you.
Okay, thank you very much. That's a very wonderful insight you've given us there. And so could you bring it nearly down to practical aspect? How can someone achieve that financial freedom? Because the story is really, really touching. But then how can I or any person listening to us anywhere in the world and say, okay, tell me how I can do it from A to Z, if it's possible? Is it possible to tell us with one concrete example of how can somebody start and then continue from there?
It's very, very body on the street to achieve financial freedom. The very first thing that, perhaps if I use my own experience, I work in very big organizations, multinational organizations. I actually started my career with Shell, and from Shell, I went to work in Chevron in Nigeria, and after a couple of years in Chevron, I went back to Shell. So, and then all this while I was working, I saw quite some bits of money, because these are good jobs in Nigeria, really very well paying jobs, and so much money came in every month. But then, to my surprise, I found that at the end of a month, I still lacked money. I didn't have money, and then sometimes my wife would ask for money to fuel her car or to buy something for the house, and at the end of the month, even though I earned so much every month, the money was not there. Now, so the beginning for financial freedom for me started when I read a book written by a gentleman called Robert Kiyosaki. He's got,
the Rich Dad and the Poor Dad.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Okay.
And then soon after reading that, I read George Clason's The Richest Man in Babylon.
Okay. Know that.
And that was some very important revelation to me, because here I was, a professional working in Shell, earning so much money. But then, I didn't have real estate. I didn't have shares in the market. I mean, I was a very academic person. I was intellectual, and I was like, go to school, get a very excellent degree,
That's
come
it.
out.
And then,
And so I was very academic, very bright. I got prizes in school, in my secondary school, came first in class, so I was kind of person. But then the school never really exposed me to the economic part of surviving the world after school.
That's right.
And so all I knew was, just go to school, come out and get a good job, and that's it. But then when I read this book, it did open up my eyes to possibilities, financial possibilities that started, in fact, the only thing that switched for me was the financial intelligence, just of the language of money, being aware of just what money is all about, and how to make it, how to manage it, how to share it, how to use it, and that's what that did for me. And I would say that for anyone to achieve financial freedom, the very, very first thing it would be to put aside money. You don't spend everything earned. At the end of the month, you must, or whether you get a gift or you do some project and then you pay it. The fundamental rule for financial side something. Now we have this which we mind everything. They treat it as bread and they eat up everything. And you and I know that any farmer that eats the seed for the freedom, for anyone that wants to achieve financial freedom, you must begin by that financial discipline of setting aside a percentage, at least 10% of what you earn. And now you've said that the next thing would be to acquire the skill for investing. You've got to put that money into something and then watch it and then develop some financial discipline to watch that thing grow and then to give it time to mature. Then the other dimension of financial freedom is the planning. You can sit down and say, this is the kind of lifestyle I want to live. I want to send my children to this kind of school. And so, for instance, if I want to send my children to Harvard and then Harvard tuition, for instance, $80,000 a year, I can sit back and say, okay, my children are going to go to Harvard in 5 years. What am I going to have to do today to be able to generate that kind of income to fund their education? Now, so financial freedom is a plan. It's not something that happens by luck. It's something that you're deliberate about.
Ambitious and motivated
Thank
are
you
words
very
that
much.
describe you
that is
best.
very, very insightful.
Then you're on the right
You are
place.
listening to
This is Motivational Radio Friends from Paris with your host, Longi Agoha.
First is determination, right? That is something I always say to people. Always. I always say it. And I'll say it here again. I always say that there are two important days in it. The day he was born or she was born and the day he discovers why. There are two important days in a man or woman's life. The day the person is born and the day he discovers why he is born. Did you discover why you were born?
That question is a bit on the tough side.
Okay. Now, I'm only trying to say here that because you were talking about determination, which is very, very important.
Yeah,
but I guess you must have a roadmap.
Yeah, actually, in my grown-up days, I understand what you say in actually. See, I'm just trying to, Alright, in my grown-up days, I have intention actually to become successful in life.
Aha, now you're talking.
Yeah, to become successful in life. And I discovered that I cannot do that without education as a necessary ingredient. And that was part of, the things that motivated me. I said, I have to be successful. I have to work.
Insightful topic and the way you really explain it in very, very clear terms. So I'd like to know, you said, how can we transform your salary to money pinning asset? What is it? I mean, your salary, maybe if you earn like maybe 20,000 naira a month, how can you transform 20,000? What is it? How can you go from 20,000 to more than that? What is it?
Yeah, the amazing thing, Longi, is that if you know what to do with even 5 a lot of money, we have this very fantastic story about the Nigerian lady who the husband had lost his job and the family fell in very hard times, and things kept depleting in their home until they had just 1,000 naira left. And I tell you what, this woman just sat down, driven by desperation. So what can I do with this 1,000 naira? So she made a list and said, I'm going to go to the market and buy beans, buy crayfish, buy pepper, buy that. And I'm going to make moi out of it, and I go and sell it, So, and that's exactly what this woman did. And then she went to somewhere in Victoria Island and sold the moi that day and made 5,000 naira out of it.
Wow.
From there, she reinvested, and as I talk to you today, at some point, that woman was actually invited by Goldman Sachs to New York, all expenses paid, to talk about the wonderful thing, because now she's a multi-millionaire.
Wow.
All from 1,000 naira. And so if people know what to do with money, even 20,000 naira is a lot. And that's why I focus on encouraging people to acquire financial intelligence, because once you have financial intelligence, even 10,000 naira can do a lot. Now, for people that sometimes, people, professionals who work in some organizations do get bonuses, and then they do get some bulk payments, sometime within the year. And then what some very smart people have done in Lagos, for instance, is when they get their car allowance, instead of buying a beautiful Mercedes or one of these big cars just to answer big names and all that have big cars, you know what they do? Buy these, going to work. They're going from Oba, for instance, to CMS.
Yeah.
They carry people, and people register with them. They carry people who are also going to the island for work, and they drop them. And then in the evening, people also join them, and they travel in this bus and then go to Oba with him. And in a day, you find this gentleman making 10,000 naira a day.
Wow.
And that's something from just making a shift in the way that people use their salaries. So you can sit down and say, okay, this is your part-time. So from the money that you have saved, apart from putting it into paper assets like stocks, you can actually find some things you can do by the side with that money. Because the interesting thing is that we live in a generation where just earning money through one means is no longer enough. So everyone is working, must find a way to multiply, if you like, his 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread into something much bigger.
So are you trying to explain the multiple streams of income?
In a way, that's also implied, yes.
Okay.
In a way, multiple streams of income is implied, and basically, in my village, the old people say that if all you know to do is to fish, what are you going to do when the river dries up?
That's right.
Yeah, and there's wisdom in that, because if you put
all your eggs in one basket.
Exactly. If all you're earning is from your salary, what's going to happen when you quit that job? You can see what's going on in Spain, Portugal,
That's
in
right.
Greece, all over the world today, because people are just, they lost their jobs. But if you lose your job, but you already had some passive estate investment before, or you have some skills that you can outsource. You can do consulting by the side. Then you find out that it's coming to you in at least 4 or 5 different ways. If one is shut down, then you are not completely
out of the line.
Yes, that's what multiple streams of income will do for you.
Okay, thank you very much. This is really very, very good. I hope our listeners would enjoy this, and I would implore all of them to buy your book, Financial Freedom. Can you present your book, please, so that your listeners could and tell us where they can find it?
Yeah, the book is Financial Freedom for Every Professional, and in it I use particularly examples that are very, very concrete to the African.
That's
because
right.
Most of the books that come from the West, they have examples and illustrations that people don't relate to. And this is the very first time someone is actually doing this kind of book for professionals. And then I'm basically putting all the mistakes I made, as someone working in Shell, having lots of money, but not managing it well, and then telling people to avoid that kind of mistake. There are chapters that show you how you can build your own house, own your own house, even from your salary,
That's right.
because you can't say you're financially free if you're still living in another person's house paying rent. So the book discusses all those, and then different things, that people can actually do with their salary. At least 30-something things you can do with your savings. So the book can we do have issues with distribution, with channel distribution actually in Nigeria for now. I mean, we're not quite advanced as in Europe, where people can actually order based on.
But can we get this on? Is it possible to go through online? Is it possible? Is there any place, if we go to your website, can we see it? Is it possible?
There is a place that you can actually get hold of the book. If you go to, there's a major bookstore in Lagos that's called Hub Media Stores.
Okay.
Yes, in the Palms in Victoria Island.
Okay.
And then also, if you go to our website, we're going to upload places people can actually buy the book. So I think I would advise, going to our website. We're going to put up in the next couple of hours, we're going to put up different addresses where people can actually get the book.
Okay.
And then people can also contact me directly.
Okay. Could you give your number, please? Your phone number.
Yeah. If they follow me on Twitter.
Okay.
Yes. And the Twitter at
Okay.
Ogbo Awoke Ogbo, and Ogbo Awoke Ogbo is OGBOAWOKEOGBO. Yes, and then they can contact me directly, and we can tell them how to get the email, get the books. And again, they can also call the number 0808
Okay.
799
Okay.
And,
then don't forget to put plus 234 for Nigeria.
Plus 234. That's correct.
Okay.
Plus 234.
Yeah.
808 799 777.
Okay, wonderful. That's wonderful. At least anybody who wants to get your book, get a hold of your book, would know exactly where to go and how to reach you. All right, so let's continue a little bit more. In your book on page 64, you said you cannot cure ignorance with prayer. Could you explain that?
I am present to this part of the world because we live in a culture where everything is prayer. And most things people are praying for is just something that a little bit of knowledge can take care of. And people would rather pray, in quotes, than confront their ignorance or confront their problems. And then the common thing here is when people are not doing well, either financially or in their career, the common excuse is that there's some enemy in the village, maybe their uncle, their mother-in-law is after them.
You are listening to Motivational Radio France
just
with your
gaps
host,
in their knowledge and skills. And then you go to buy things from a woman in a shop. She's so rude to you. She's rude to all her customers. Then the customers stop going there because they are being treated badly. Then the very next day, this woman runs to a religious center to do vigil and pray for that her business will do well. But meanwhile, it's just her ignorance, and the way she's treating her customers that's making people run. So it's impossible to cure ignorance with prayer. You can only deal with ignorance through personal development and acquiring knowledge.
Okay, wonderful. Because when I saw it, I said, wow, that's good. Because people believe in praying, and then if prayers were to work miracle, we don't need to pray that much. You only need to pray 1 or 2 times, and your miracles they'll be happening. But then you pray, and so people, I guess, do not do the right things, and so they relied on prayers and believing that would solve all their problems. So I guess not. So, and when I saw it in your book, I really penciled it down. I said, wow, I would like to know. I would like to have more insights on that. Okay, very good. That is very fine. And for me, the last question would be, what is entrepreneurship, and how can I or our listeners become an entrepreneur? What do I need?
I'm glad you asked this question because in today's world, with all the rising problems, the perfect answer is entrepreneurship. And that's what young people and graduates should look, not to keep circulating CVs. I have people who have been home since they graduated for 7, 8, 9 years, still looking for a job. And I'm like, you went to the university. If you know how to think, you wouldn't, like Einstein again, expecting different results. You're looking for, it occur to you to do something different. So entrepreneurship is the answer. And what is it basically? The entrepreneur is someone who basically sits down and identifies a problem and provides a solution to the problem.
Okay.
And then in the process of providing a solution for that bed, So he sits down, he tries to find out the demand gap. What are the pain points, nature, this particular group of people are faced? What is their pain? And how can I provide a solution? Is there a product I can develop? Is there a service I can create to meet this need? And to do it in such a way that no one, because one of the things, the hallmark of entrepreneurship is innovation. You're doing only you can do it that way. That's actually what gives you that differentiation and brings the profit. So now, anyone can become entrepreneur. You find out, the very first thing you find out is what is your passion? What is it that moves you? Because you can never succeed as an entrepreneur in anything you're not passionate about.
That's right.
So what is it you're passionate about? And then the second question is, what is it that you are wired to do?
That's it.
Wired to do. Yes. So it's not just a matter of being passionate, about it, but you're wired to do it. You can see Michael Jordan was wired for basketball. When he retired the first time from basketball and went to baseball, for 2 years or thereabouts, he failed woefully. He wasn't wired for baseball. And then he came back to basketball.
Motivated are words that describe you best. Then you're on the right place. This is Motivational Radio Friends from Paris with your host, Lonji Agoha.
The name Nigeria will not stop it to a move, because we know that we have a lot of people have this likeness and love to Nigerians.
Okay, good. Now, let me go into something else. Now, let's go into the magazine proper.
Words that describe you best. Then you're on the right place. This is Motivational Radio Friends from Paris with your host, Lonji Agoha.
Right, so let's go to the second question. How can we achieve personal success? That's, just all the things you've enumerated now is all about leading to success itself, because you cannot succeed without having a vision, without taking action, without having a roadmap, or without designing your life the way you want it. Because I believe we all think in pictures, in our heads. We all have images. And we always talk to ourselves every day. See, it is what you discuss with yourself that counts. I believe that very much, because I am speaking to you now. I know there are images in your head. There are things you are thinking about. And then it is left for you to either accept those images or not. And that determines exactly what you become.
Like one of my men said, the picture you have about yourself is what you're going to become.
That's right. You cannot be bigger than what you have in your image. You can't.
Nobody has ever succeeded beyond the level of these pictures, beyond the level of what you can visualize in your mind. Nobody has ever succeeded more than that.
But
those who think big, and act according to their plans, they get there. Don't have any plans on your mind. I don't think.
Is it possible? Is it possible to expand that image?
Yes, it's possible. It's possible. That's where association comes in. Now, I keep telling people around me. I said, when you have vision, it is the dream you have that determines the size of your vision. Now, if you're looking at becoming, let me assume your vision is, okay, I want to be a big-time entrepreneur. No, I want to be an entrepreneur. Now, the dream is what determines how big that vision will be. There are so many entrepreneurs everywhere. But it depends on the size of the dream you have. That's why you need to think big. When you think big, there's every tendency that you begin to act in line with your thinking. Now, when you have, I talked about association the other time. If you associate with people of little mind, they will reduce your, they won't be doing a lot of good to you. When you want to take a step, you are on a particular level now, you want to move to the next level, they will tell you, this is enough. It's enough. Why are you stressing yourself? They will make you see reason why you shouldn't
go beyond that.
They make you see reason because they are not going anywhere. They are contented with the little they have. They will tell you, after all, why are you bothering yourself? But you see, when you have people of like mind, people who challenge your dreams, people who tell you it's possible, people who tell you, okay, you are in a state now, you have a branch in just one state in your nation. You can go to 10 states. You can move it to 20 states. It's not just about wealth accumulation. It's about living living
a life of significance.
Time is about making it in life. So you need good association. When you have good association, they're going to challenge you. They're going to help your dreaming.
I agree with somebody who said, I think it was Les Brown who said, that if you are the guru in your group, you have to change a group.
You have to change a group. You definitely have to change the group. The relationship are supposed to be 3 levels. You have people you look up to. You have people you are within the same, your peers. Then you have people that look up to you. But when you dwell too much with people that they look up to you, you become a local star.
Right.
You need to look further. You need to look ahead. You are here now, fine. Your level of success, but life is in a continuum. You need to keep pushing until you draw your last breath. I think we need to be adding more to whatever we are doing. It's not about, it's not just about money. No. It's not just about money all the time. But people made the world what it is now. Before we leave the world, we need to leave a mark in the sands of time. We need to make a whole lot of difference in whatever we are doing. So we need to keep pushing. We need to choose the right association. We need to do more. We need to do more.
I agree with you, because I think that's what somebody said, that you should go to where there is no path and make the path yourself, and leave your footmarks along the line. You leave your foot treads along the line.
Correct.
Yes, because if you go with the crowd, nobody is going to see your footmarks along the road. But if you go where there is no way, you can people will follow you through. They will see your footmarks and follow that. You have to be different, a little bit different, not crazy, be a little bit different. Do things differently, and people will recognize that, because if you do things like every other person, nobody recognizes that. But do it a little bit.
There's no point. Like I said, there's no point. Everybody on the earth, you are different from me now. The way you look at it, you're different from me.
Sure.
So by the time I do everything exactly the way you're doing it, there's no need for me then.
Yeah, sure.
There's no need for me.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of carbon copy, right? Just copying, and that's not very good. Okay, let us go to the next one. How do we know that we have attained our personal success? Are there signs?
Okay. Now, that question takes me back to first thing I talked about. I was talking about vision. I said the starting point for anything in life is to know where you are going to. Now, I'll add one more to it. So after that, vision plus stock taking will tell you whether you are moving close to your set goals or your set objectives in life. What do I mean by that? Now, let me assume that, the vision I have for my organization, before I can term a particular department in my organization as a subset of the organization that is quote unquote, so we must have our turnover must be so and so.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we're stock taking, measure what we have achieved per time vis-a-vis the vision we have set, vis-a-vis the objectives we have set. So where there's no measurement, where there's no stock taking, you are moving close to your vision or not. You are successful. You will not be close to where you are set for yourself. So we need to know where we are going, and we need to take stock. We need to do measurement. We need to measure where we are on the track. Are we still on the track? How close are we going to get there? What need do we need to add? What do we need to remove? So we need to balance visioning plus stock. I say stock taking. I'm talking about measuring the projection against the actual. I'm sure that answers the question.
Okay, good. That's not too bad, really. So it's all in line with personal success and personal strengths. Are they the same? Are they one and the same, or just maybe two things together?
We have been talking about success. Let me go to strength so that maybe that would be good to my listeners.
Okay.
Now, when you're talking about your strengths, three things are involved. Your strength is a mixture of your talent,
mm-hmm.
your knowledge,
mm-hmm.
and your skills.
Okay.
Let me say it again. Your skills, your
strengths
are a mixture of your talent, your knowledge, and your skills.
Mm-hmm.
You see, when all this comes together, you are the best in you comes out. When you have the mixture of the knowledge and that you have built over time, it will give reach to achieve that objective for yourself. Now, I know start talking about it. It will take us to the area of natural makeup. It will take us to the area of several other things so that you can so that I can address them directly. The question you have asked, strength is largely concerned with 3 minutes and your skills.
And these things are developed all along, while you're and skills. This you have to develop these things.
You have to. There's no man on the earth who is giftless. But the problem is, while we all have some level of gift in our land, talking about natural endowment now, and you see one marks the difference between one man and the other one is, while Mr. A has some level of talent, he begins to develop it. Mr. B probably feels his talent is there. See, when you don't hone your skills, it stays in latent form. You can't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do anything. That's why, what's his name? John C. Maxwell wrote the book, Talent is Not Enough. When you have the talent, you still need to work on the talent so that you can maximize the best from the talent.
For me, what I would call talent is, or those people call talented today, those who pay millions, especially like footballers. These are people who identify their talents early and started working on them. Yeah. Because it is the amount of work you put in your talent that makes it develop.
Exactly. Now, a raw talent, what a raw talent will give you, you can never compare it with what a talent that has been developed will give you. Now, when you see gold in its raw form, you can even pass beside it without noticing it's gold.
That's right.
But when the gold passes through fire, passes through high level of fire, it becomes what we call gold now, and everybody wants to associate with it. The same man that is wearing that gold round on his neck, when it's been worked on, might not even want to touch it when the gold is in its latent form.
Right.
So that goes a long way to explain to us that your talent, your natural giftings are not enough until you begin to work on them. They might not even deliver the level of opportunities that we should have gotten from them. So we need to work on our talents. We need to work on our gifting. We need to work on our skills so that we can make the best out of life.
Okay. Wow, this is great. Tell our listeners who you are. If you have any books, if you have a website, do you have any phone numbers? Just expose yourself. Who are you? Tell our listeners who you are.
All right. Now, my name is Busayo Ogumade, as you have heard. Busayo is spelled Busayo. Ogumade is spelled Ogumnade. You can reach me on busayoogumade.com. That's my website. That's my personal website.
Okay.
Now, Busayo Ogumade is a business development consultant. I'm a trainer. I'm an author. I've published how many books now? I've published about 5 books that I've written. We have over 50 audio learning programs on CD. We have them. If you check our website, you should be able to see some of them there.
Okay.
Now you can reach me on 234-80-3410-1694.
Okay. Right.
I'm passionate about personal development, business success, and leadership.
Great. So I hope our listeners that you're going to come back again.
Just invite me. I'll definitely come back.
All right. Okay. It's been a very big pleasure speaking to you, Busayo. I am very delighted to have talked to you today, and I hope I will catch you again very, very soon.
You are listening to Motivational Radio France with your host. This podcast was brought to you by the Motivational Radio.
Welcome to our Motivational Hour. Today, I have the privilege of having a Nigerian motivational speaker called Tomiwa Ogoremi, who is going to talk about talent today. So, Ogoremi, how are you?
I'm fine.
So, can you please explain in clear terms what talent is all about?
Thank you very much for this great privilege. One or two things about this important topic, talent. Going to your question, whenever I want to talk about talent, I like to relate ways that everybody will understand. Going by definition, talent means something that you are naturally good at, not something learned or something that was given to you at the inside of you. And I like using natural resources. You know, every nation has one natural resource or the other.
Okay.
Yeah, and likewise, every woman has a natural resources, which I call talent.
Okay. So, yeah, job or anybody's job is to discover the talent, isn't it?
Definitely. Now left to you to cover the natural resources within you.
Okay.
Like natural resources on ground, in the north, everywhere around you. So it's your job now to discover, finding it, deploying.
Okay, good. So that's for you in a nutshell what talent is all about. But what's the difference between talent and gift?
Thank you very much. These two words are always interwoven and used interchangeably. And at times, when say in a way, everybody will understand. Talent means them as I like to say it the way John C. Maxwell put it. He said, talent is a God-given gift that should be celebrated. Talent is a God-given gift that should be celebrated. So you can see here that it is inside talent and talent inside.
Right.
Now.
Yeah, okay. So talent, in one word, talent is gift is talent. Is that what you're saying? Now, the question is, how do you discover a gift or how do you discover the talent, knowing fully well that there's no school that teaches you how to discover your talent?
Like any other, you are covering. And at times, so going by how to discover your talent, I have some, I did some research. These are some of the ways that I came up and discover your talent. Number one is ask. I call it ask. You know, you have a question. Who are the people to ask this question? Because at times, you don't know what you carry until someone around you even tells you, you know, you do this. So the number one person you have, in a way, is your maker. Who made you? Who deposited something inside of you? Who created you when you are? And that is your creator. Without going into any religion, I believe everybody has a way of communicating with our maker. So this is the first person to find, to ask, what did you put inside of me? Then secondly, you have to ask your parents. These are the people that knows you more than any other person. What are my dad, my mom? Is there anything that you noticed when I was growing up, even up to this moment, that I do well more than any other person? So you can ask your parents, then you can ask your friends. Those are the people that you play with, who you play football with, people we chat with. They know that you are good at this. You can talk very well. You might be a good lawyer. You might be a comedian. You might be an actor. So you ask your friends too. So then the last person you ask, funny enough, is yourself.
Okay.
Ask yourself. Ask yourself. That's about asking. The second way is to discover it is you write, you sit down and pick a pen and paper and write what are the things that I like. Because like I said, it's one thing you have there. What are the things? There might be more than 10. There might be only 2. What are the things that I like doing? Things that I love doing. Things that I don't even know when time has gone. Why doing it? Something that even if I have not eaten for a whole day, I keep on doing it. What are the things? You write them down and put them in the order of priority, the one that do more, in the order. Then you can now say, what kind of topic do I like to discuss on? That's another one. What kind of topic do I like to discuss on? Some people, they just like to talk about sport. They like to talk about sport. Some, they like to talk about movies, These are some of the times that, some just like to talk about books. They like talking about movies. Some just like to move in.
Okay.
That's another one. What gives you joy? What gives you joy? Now, whenever I'm doing this, I'm happy. Whether I'm paid or I'm not being paid, it gives me joy. I just love doing it. Then another one is, what gives you fulfillment? What gives you fulfillment? Ask yourself, what gives you fulfillment? What do you do that after doing it, you feel like you have achieved, or you have won a jackpot kind of? Then what takes away your time? That's another one. What takes away your time? There are so many ways you can discover your talent, but because of our time, let me just limit it at this.
Okay, good. So that the things you've just said now, some of the ways one can discover his or her talent in the world, right? Okay, that's good. So when you discover your talent, if for any reasons you discover your talent, what do you do from there?
Now, like every resources, like I said, no resources is useful until it is refined.
Okay.
No resources, no natural resources, maybe mineral or whatever, even plant that is useful as it is. So the next thing you have to do is to develop it, is to refine it. That's the next stage. After discovering who you are, discovering your gifting, discovering what you give you joy, then the next thing is to develop it. And there are so many ways through which you can develop. So development, that is the next thing.
Okay, so you have to develop it. Do you develop it yourself? Do you need people to help you develop it? or do you need to go to a school to develop your talents?
It's all encompassing, all inclusive. You have a part to play. In fact, you have all the parts to play in developing your talent. So along the line, there are ways in which you can develop your talent. Number one is, after you have identified this, to learn about, I like writing. I like writing. Then if I discover that I like writing, then what is right? And there are so many ways you can learn about the gift or a talent. Number one, you could go to a school or apply for a course, that teaches your gifting. That's just cool. There are so many types of, there are academics these days, writing academic, acting academic, singing, dancing, even comedy. So cool. The second one is seminars. There are seminars going on a daily basis, everywhere, all around the world, talking about one thing or the other. You have to find it, the one that is peculiar to your talent, and attend. Then the next one is 2 books. I'm talking about learning now. There's somebody that have done what you're about. There's somebody that have a talent. I have that particular talent that you have discovered you have. That person might have written something about it. Look for books that talk about your talent. Then the next one is online. There are so many resources online these days. The world is there. It's not even longer a global village. The world is now in a room.
Oh, so, that's good.
It's not in a room. Like we are speaking now.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yes. We're 6,000 kilometers away.
Yeah. You can just go online.
Yeah.
Google your subject, which is your Google, you can read stuff about it. And the last one about learning is through a trainer. Get a trainer. If music is your own, get a voice trainer. If dancing is your, get a dance trainer or teacher. You understand? Then another way of developing it is through mentors. Go and look for a mentor. People used to say that, I get them, they will not listen to me, they will not answer me. I used to be in that class, but I discovered that they are even looking for somebody to put through. They are looking for people to put through. So just take a step, approach a mentor, somebody that have done what you want to do well. Look for the person, then ask to be mentor. They will mentor you.
Okay.
Then another one that I want to talk about, I have series of them here that our listeners will benefit from. Go for auditioning. Go for competition. There it comes out through competition. You don't really know who you are until you have put through test and trial. So go for auditioning. Go for reality shows. Reality shows have made a lot of talented doing great things outside the people. So that's another avenue.
Okay, good. You've just enumerated the ways to develop your talent. Somebody said there are 2 important days in a man's life: the day he was born and the day he discovers why. Do you agree?
Yeah, very well.
That's right.
Very well.
Okay. So if you discover why you were born and then you do something about it, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That topic is actually my favorite, which is purpose.
Okay.
Then when the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. When you don't know why you are here, you misbehave, you experiment.
That's
you waste time, you waste energy, you waste resources, and life depends in time.
Yeah, because I completely believe that anybody who cannot discover exactly why he was made or he was brought in this planet would spend time working for those who have.
Definitely.
Okay. Now, that brings me to the next question. Why or what are the reasons talented people fail? Why do they fail? When you discover your talent, why is it that some people cannot break through? Why?
There are so many reasons for that. Talent is not a basis for success, but it's the foundation. That you are talented does not mean automatically you are in success, or you are going to get to that climax in your career. But there are so many things that you have to do. Like I said, like a mineral resources, a crude oil, for instance, you have to refine it before you can get a fuel, aviation fuel, kerosene, as is being called here. So there are so many things that can make a talented man, very talented, to fail in life. One of them is ignorance.
Okay.
Ignorance. I like a scripture in the Bible that said that my people are perished because they lack knowledge. If you don't know that you even carry a gift, or you don't know how to market it, or how to even develop the process of marketing it, you have to remain in the same spot. And the people that know how to go to the city just run past you. So ignorance is number one. Number 2 is laziness.
Okay.
I told you earlier that it requires a lot of hard work. If you are not hardworking, you cannot break through, even if you are very talented. I learned that Cristiano Ronaldo, a footballer, and says Real Madrid, spend extra 8 hours practicing how to score a free kick. That is hard work. The same thing goes with to show up, you have to be hardworking. Number 3 is attitude. The talent will give a man a thing, but character is there. If you don't have a good character to sustain your talent, you may not go far. Attitude is everything. Thing I discover is lack of integrity. When people are looking for someone that they can trust, and once you are tried and you fail, you will not be tried again. You will not be given opportunity or a chance again to prove what you got. So integrity is very important. Then there is what I call the thief of time. Procrastination has killed a lot of talent.
You are listening to Motivational Radio France. All right, this podcast was brought to you by the Motivational Radio France. All the things you're saying, we all know that we need talent. We need to develop our talent. We need to work on our talents in order to maximize all the things we have on this planet and to make a change or to make a difference in life. Because I believe we're all born for a purpose. And as soon as we discover that purpose, we can follow it through and then get the results we're supposed to get. If you don't, you just end up living the purpose of other people, and that's not very good. Okay. I'd like to know, is talent enough for success and greatness in life? Is that enough?
Talent is not enough.
So what else do you need?
Like I rightly said earlier, you need hard work. You know, you have to be very hard work as a talented person. You have to be very hardworking. There's no time for play. You have not reached Eldorado. There is no time for relaxation. You just have to keep working. Working at your talents, working at day and night. Search for the biographies of great men all around the world. And it's always amazing. It's always amazing me when I find out that the people that are called the billionaires, they are always working at whatever they do. They are not satisfied with the level they are. They want to do more. And by doing so, the 24 hour is too small for them. So as a talented person, you have to be hardworking. Yeah, you have to be hardworking. And like I said, you have to be a person of your word, because you'll be dealing with people. There's no man that is working in isolation. Talent is all about sharing what you have with the people around you. You cannot be talented and you are just on your own playing your talent. Somebody has to pay you for the talent. And if you are not a man or a woman of integrity, somebody that can be trusted, somebody that keeps his or her word, then nobody will want to do it.
Okay, right. So someone said that success is measured in terms of who you know. Do you agree? I mean, because we're talking of networking here. It's all about networking, because I believe in the power of network, and I believe also that all the money we are looking for in this world are in the pockets of other people. Isn't it? All right. And so your main idea or your main reason is to look for people who would help you to pay some of that money. You provide service for them, and they give you some of the money they have.
I agree with you 100%. You know, John C. Maxwell said something. Then the age of industrialization has gone.
Right.
Then the age of technology is running very fast. And we are now in the age of networking.
Right.
We are now in the age of, it is as much as you don't want to depend on somebody, but the truth is that your success or your customer, your partner, is always somebody close to you. So, you may not be able to meet that person on the interconnect.
Right.
So, I agree totally that you have to connect. You have to connect for you to get to that your prime. So, in connection, networking, that is the same thing now. You know, in this part of the world that we are.
Yeah, exactly. That's the power of networking. That's it.
Yeah, they call it man no man, but that's the truth. Recently, one of my brother was doing a research about market, and he called me when he got something online. I come and read, and I read it. I was shocked, you know. The report said that one of the best ways you can even get a job, it wasn't written by a black man, it was an American article. Now, the best way to network, the best way to get a customer is through networking. But word of mouth or referral is the best form of marketing in sales world. So you cannot do without.
Okay, right. That reminds me of something that I had when I was in school. The principal of my school used to say that while you're going through this school, he said, allow the school to go through you. Okay, and he was saying that the power of networking, because if you look down and check exactly why do people send their children to reputable schools, it's not because of what they teach in that school. It is because of who they are going to meet along the line there. Because when you go to a reputable school, you have a tendency to meet people who are almost in the same level of thinking, the kind of powerful networks they have. And so when you come out from that school, you have a tendency to see or hear about old boys from that school that would help you to get jobs very, very easily, or that will connect you to something else. I tell you, that's one thing. The school here called it's a marketing school, in fact, where they do marketing and all the rest. People pay thousands of euros to go to such schools. And I guess the reasons why they go there is because of the name and because of the kind of people that will come there, students that come there. And because they know that the power of networking is very important. And when you finish from such schools, your possibility of getting a job is quite high, or even higher than the normal person that went to a normal school. All right.
That's right.
So I believe in the power of networking. Yeah. I'd like you to talk about what is the difference between talent and purpose.
Good. Like I said, suppose they are similar, but they are very different.
Mm-hmm.
You know, purpose is the intent, that is in the intention of your creator when he was making you.
Right.
You know, when your maker was signing you, you know, he has something in mind. That is your purpose. You know, it's just like when a craftsman is making a chair, he has in mind that chair is for, you know, if somebody comes up, start using it as a ball, that's like his use of purpose.
Mm-hmm.
That is what is happening to most people on the planet Earth.
Okay.
You know, I used to say that purpose should be the number one topic that should be taught in school, because that's the foundation of everything.
Mm-hmm.
If you miss it, you miss all. So talking about the difference between purpose and talent. Talent is what is given to you to actualize your purpose. Talent helps you to fulfill your purpose. Talent, while purpose is that journey you have to embark, that goal you have to meet. Now, sometimes ago, can't remember where it says on the judgment day, you'll be asked two questions. Number one question is that what do you do with what you know, what did you do with what I sent you to go and do? You're like, I sent socket to go and get me a 2 barrels of yam, and the person gets to the market and come back with the person. I used to ask, will I be happy?
No.
I will be happy.
Right. So that's in a nutshell what it's all about. Talent and the purpose, the reason why we are brought into this world. Okay. And I still believe that if anybody ever discovers exactly why he was created and goes head on to follow that, success is assured, and he is certainly going to make a difference in life. I believe that very much. So one of the reasons why people fail is they do not. I have a feeling that 60% of the people on this planet do not know exactly why they were created. So end up living a life that were not designed for them. Okay. Thank you very much for all the things you have said so far. All right. So, before you go, have you written a new book? Can somebody get you online? Tell our listeners who you are exactly, so that we know exactly who has been talking to us for the past 1 hour or 30 minutes.
Thank you very much. I've written 2 books.
Okay.
Yeah. One is Conquering Self, Your Number One Enemy.
Okay.
That's my first book.
Mm-hmm.
Conquering Self, Your Number One Enemy. And the second one is Journey to Greatness.
Okay.
Journey to Greatness.
Okay. Is it online?
Sorry?
Is it online?
Yes. Journey to Greatness is online. It's on Amazon. It's on Bain.
Okay.
And Noble.
Okay.
It's all over Europe.
Okay.
Because, it was first published in UK.
Okay.
By Earthly Brace. But it was republished here in Nigeria later. That was last year.
Okay.
But it's online. It's all over the internet.
Okay.
Whenever I'm introducing myself, I like to say that I'm a man on a mission. I'm a man on a mission to help people discover, develop, and deploy their talent. That's my major. I love people fulfilling their purpose in life. I love people making use of what is given to them by their maker. And to me, I believe it's the easiest way and the fastest way to fulfill purpose and to be successful in life, you know. So if you want to get me, I have a web blog, but I like writing in my life. Writing is my life. So I have a blog I put on my mind on called www.tomiwaoguremi.com.
Okay.
tomiwaoguremi.com. You can email me through tomiwaoguremi@yahoo.co.uk.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can always send a message.
Okay.
You can even reach me. I'm on Twitter.
Okay.
I'm on Facebook.
Okay, good.
Just Google my name. You see all about me.
Okay, Mr. Tominwa, thank you very, very much. We are pleased to have you on our radio, and I hope our listeners would have learned a lot from all the things you've said so far. I hope you would have time again to come and give us some more insight to your vision about life and the things you teach. I hope you have time one day to come back and talk more about your vision in life.
Mr. Noah, that is what we are made for. I will always be glad to do things over and over and over again.
Okay.
As long as people are being blessed.
Right. Good. Very soon I'll be running a live program. Okay. We're running a live program. Maybe I would invite you to come online and speak to our listeners live online. And in case anybody wants to ask questions, I will put them through to you. And maybe do you counsel online? Maybe
Come again.
do you do counseling online?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Right. So okay, that would be fine. I'll be contacting you very, very soon. And I'll put that through so that listeners can listen and maybe make phone calls and call and ask questions directly. And so we'll rub minds together again. Thank you very, very much.
It's a great privilege. I appreciate it.
Okay, so what would you tell our listeners about Motivational Radio France?
Wow, this is what is expected. I so much appreciate it because this is like training, life training
Right.
to people.
That's it.
So it is a step in the right direction. I appreciate it.
Okay, that's a live coaching online. Okay, live coaching online. Okay, right. I'm giving you a global voice. Okay, right. I hope people around the world would know who Mr. Tomiwa Ogureme is from today on. Okay, thank you very, very much. Okay. Okay. All right. This podcast was brought to you by the Motivational Radio France
from Paris with your host Longi Agoha.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. I am privileged to be speaking to Ubong Essien, Dean of the School of Eloquence, and he is going to speak about motivation and coaching today. How do you motivate your clients?
I don't think I necessarily motivate my client as much as I actually just point the options in front of them and the consequences and allow them to make the choices. What I essentially do is more or less awaken people's sense of consciousness to understand the dimensions of what is at stake for them. Mm-hmm. Whether they are dealing with their careers or running a business or managing organizations or whatever it is that they're doing. My job, I believe, is to call them to realize or to understand the dimensions of what they are into, what is at stake, and the consequences of certain actions or inactions, and more or less to challenge them in the right direction to make the right choices for themselves. Now, what happens thereafter goes beyond my purview because people must now make these choices to either go after their dreams, either make certain changes to behavior, to either pursue certain things differently. That is the motivational element. And very often, in my view, it comes more from the persons because they must want to. We cannot create a want to. What we can do at most is to shed the light for them to see what is at stake and to appreciate what the dynamics or what the dimensions are. Then they must decide, okay, I want to do this, I'm ready for it, and I'm going to go for it. Okay, I want to do this, or I don't want to do this. So that's our role. It's always important for me to know where to draw the line. That even though in terms of marketing nomenclature, we are called motivational speakers. In the end, I think what we're just doing is to provoke people to the various options in front of them. They must make that choice. They must cross the bridge. And that's just what I believe I do.
Okay, that's very good. What you just said makes me remember someone like Tony Robbins, who said he's the why guy, the why man, the man who asks why. He wants to know why people do the things they do. So maybe you're trying to say that motivational speakers are people who want to ask other people, why do you do this thing? And what is it that makes you do that, so that somehow while speaking about it, you are conscious of the fact that you have to change, and then you begin to accept change yourself, isn't it?
Yes, at the end of the day, the individual would make the commitment. It's as simple as that. My role is to set the tone. I mean, there are lots of very smart people for the organization, for most of the organizations that I work for, very high profile blue chip organizations. I mean, some of them probably have richer life experiences than I do. Some of them probably have a much significant qualifications than I have. And so if I have the privilege addressing them, it's not as if I'm trying to push them. At that level, that's not the intent. At that level, what you're trying to do is to provoke, so to speak, them to take a look at the options in front of them, to take a look at the issues and determine what is it exactly, how badly do we want to do this. We must want to do it at the end of the day. That's really the question people must ask. People must really want to get things done. Otherwise, it won't matter what I say, for how long I say it. So we're just agent provocateurs, so to speak, to just challenge people and let them perform. Challenge them. We cannot push them to perform. At times, people can be generous in their compliments. Say, this person changed my life. In the end, nobody does that. Those changes. It's people who make those commitments that bring about the results that they are looking for. We are only privileged to set the tone, so to speak. Privileged to awaken them to a much higher level of consciousness, a much deeper sense of appreciating what is at stake. People know what's at stake, but sometimes it just doesn't dawn on them as it should. That's where we come in to say, look, this is what it is, in a different light. Then people begin to find a way to say, you know what, I think I'm going to now have to do this, given the way I now see it. And that's really, for me, the way motivation should work.
Okay. Right. So, in fact, this is another perspective you're putting here. Generally, people believe that they make others change, but you're trying to say that no, the change comes from the individual, just maybe try to show him this is this and this is that. Say, oh, okay, I have seen that, now I can do it, or I have the capacity to change and all the rest.
Absolutely.
Wow. Okay, so how would you, if for any reasons, let us say that you are working with a client and you are trying to make him get better at speaking as a public speaker, but the thing is, he is not motivated, he doesn't have the knack to go to do the thing. How would you buy into his own story so that he will not come out from that shell where he's hiding?
Well, it goes back to the point. I mean, most of my public speaking classes, if not virtually all of everyone that shows up wants to face that challenge. Everyone that shows up truly wants to solve that problem. Mm-hmm. That's why they show up.
Right.
To learn the art of it, to be coached through it, to be taught the subject matter. That's why they are there. So I don't spend my time trying to motivate them, mm-hmm. trying to make them see reason or want to. They are there because they want to fix an issue in their lives. And that happens to be the art of speaking in part. So that takes that issue effectively off the table for me.
Okay, that's good. That's it. So you're not even up to that. That's not your concern. That's not the main concern.
Yes, because people only show up. It's like saying, how do you motivate somebody to eat? You cannot. You really cannot. Because internally, there must be a mechanism that indicates that the tank is empty, I need to refuel. You don't need any motivation for that, especially if you're driving a car. If you're running low on fuel, you know that there will be consequences. You know there will be consequences if this gets out of hand. You don't need any external force to prompt you because you know there will be consequences. I have to refuel. I must refuel. I want to refuel. I need to refuel. Otherwise, I'm going nowhere. So it's in my best interest to show up and get fueling. And that's really more or less the same concept. People show up eloquent with speaking. They've either been embarrassed at work, someone else was given a job because they could speak well or better than they could, or they are frustrated because they've got so many ideas and they are unable or they are scared of coming out openly before audiences large or small to articulate those thoughts. So that's internally. So when they show up from within them, there is a strong motive for that action. So I am not that in hand. My context is not to try to motivate them, but rather to fill their tanks, to let them have whatever information. In fact, most times, I find that most of them are able to, by themselves, make my job a lot easier because they are motivated to learn.
Already. Okay.
They're motivated to learn. Things are a lot faster. They ask more questions. They put themselves out there to do the exercises because they are already motivated.
Right.
And it's not me who put that in.
Okay. It's very what it is. That we do not motivate people. We only show them what is right, and already when they are into the picture, or they buy the picture, that's it. They are already motivated already. That when they come into your program, they are already motivated to change something in their lives. Then it becomes a lot easier for you.
Exactly.
Right. Well, okay. Now, how would you, for any reason, if listeners, some of them want to key into your story, that is, they want to learn public speaking, is it online, for example? Do you do it online, for example?
We're currently working on putting out various online options. I haven't done this for 7 years. I know that we presently have an IT team working on translating or transforming the entire program into an online version that people can have access to either via the typical LMS, are the ones modeling this. So all they are using what we've done on ground in real face-to-face classes, and they're developing various online versions that people can tap into. So I cannot tell you for now how it will pan out until they finish their work between now and hopefully the end of the year. Then come 2014, God willing, we will be able to officially, openly let people have some options that through which they can access some of our programs if they are not able to be here with me in Lagos, Nigeria, for the monthly classes that I run.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good. That's a very wonderful thing. Because when I saw your pedigree, I was kind of attracted, and I wanted to know exactly what it is you do. Now that I know, I have a clearer picture of what it is. Would you accept coming back to our program one day and giving us more insights as to what you do, so that many of our listeners would buy your story much more than, because I have a feeling that you're up and doing now and you want to run away. Would you accept to come in one day, one more time maybe, and tell us more of your story?
Yeah, that shouldn't be a problem. Just like we've done today. Hopefully, just give me a call or send me an email or whatever. I'm sure that can always be worked out. That's not going to be a problem. As long as there's time to do this, I'm happy. I'll be more than glad to.
So let me not hold you back. Maybe, is it possible for you to introduce yourself to our listeners and so that they know who you are exactly?
Well, my name is Ubong Essien, and there's just so much about me that sometimes it's difficult to say which of those should I pick. I run a school called the School of Eloquence. Here in Nigeria, I'm referred to as Nigeria's Mr. Motivator. I have been speaking for over 13 years now, professionally. I belong to the National Association based in the US called the NSA. I'm a certified speaking professional from the same body. I think, as a matter of fact, I am currently the only certified speaking professional in the whole of the West African sub-region. There are 9 certified speaking professionals in the whole of Africa. 8 of them are currently in South Africa. And if you can Google the NSA and the CSP, the Certified Speaking Professional designation is not an award, it's an earned designation. You have to earn it professionally to be among the top 6 to 9% of over 10,000 professional speakers in the world that have attained that level of professionalism in terms of speaking professionally. So in a nutshell, given all of that, that would probably be my introduction, or in terms of my profile at a glance. Hopefully in some of your subsequent interviews, we might be able to get a lot more personal, and I might have the opportunity to share my story, how I started, I'm able to do, and the work that I have there. And I'm sure that if you're able to do some Googling, if I may use that word, on my personal website, ubongessien.com, or the School of Eloquence website, schoolofeloquence.org. I'm sure you'll have some adequate materials or information that distills my story and my person.
Okay, you started by saying you're very awkward at that, but found out you said much more, which is very good. Now at least I have a clearer picture, and I guess our listeners will also have clearer picture of who you are or who we're dealing with. All right, thank you very, very much, and I hope I will catch you up again very, very soon.
Always a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
This podcast was brought to you by the Motivational Radio France
from Paris with your host, Longi Akoha.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. I am privileged to be speaking to Ubong Essien, Dean of the School of Eloquence, and he is going to speak about motivation and coaching today. How do you motivate your clients?
I don't think I necessarily motivate my client as much as I actually just point the options in front of them and the consequences and allow them to make the choices. What I essentially do is more or less awaken people's sense of consciousness to understand the dimensions of what is at stake for them, whether they are dealing with their careers or running a business or managing organizations or whatever it is that they're doing. My job, I believe, is to call them to realize or to understand the dimensions of what they are into, what is at stake, and the consequences of certain actions or inactions, and more or less to challenge them in the right direction to make the right choices for themselves. Now, what happens thereafter goes beyond my purview, because people must now make these choices to either go after their dream, either make certain changes to behavior, to either pursue certain things differently. That is the motivational element. And very often, in my view, it comes more from the persons, because they must want to. We cannot create a want to. What we can do at most is to shed the light for them to see what is at stake and to appreciate what the dynamics or what the dimensions are. Then they must decide, okay, I want to do this, I'm ready for it, and I'm going to go for it. Okay, I want to do this, or I don't want to do this. So that's our role. It's always important for me to know where to draw the line. That even though in terms of marketing nomenclature, we are called motivational speakers, in the end, I think what we're just doing is to provoke people to the various options in front of them. They must make that choice. They must cross the bridge. And that's just what I believe I do.
Okay, that's very good. What you just said makes me remember someone like Tony Robbins, who said he's the why guy, the why man, the man who asks why. He wants to know why people do the things they do. So maybe you're trying to say that motivational speakers are people who want to ask other people, why do you do this thing? And what is it that makes you do that, so that somehow while speaking about it, you are conscious of the fact that you have to change, and then you begin to accept change yourself, isn't it?
Yes, at the end of the day, the individual would make the commitment. It's as simple as that. My role is to set the tone. I mean, there are lots of very smart people for the organization, for most of the organizations that I work for, very high-profile blue-chip organizations. I mean, some of them probably have richer life experiences than I do. Some of them probably have much significant qualifications than I have. And so if I have the privilege of addressing them, it's not as if I'm trying to push them. At that level, that's not the intent. At that level, what you're trying to do is to provoke, so to speak, them to take a look at the options in front of them, to take a look at the issues and determine what is it exactly, how badly do we want to do this. We must want to do it at the end of the day. That's really the question people must ask. People must really want to get things done. Otherwise, it won't matter what I say, for how long I say it. So we are just agent provocateurs, so to speak, to just challenge people and let them perform. Challenge them. We cannot push them to perform. At times, people can be generous in their compliments. To say, this person changed my life. In the end, nobody does that. Those changes. It's people who make those commitments that bring about the results that they are looking for. We are only privileged to set the tone, so to speak. Privileged to awaken them to a much higher level of consciousness, a much deeper sense of appreciating what is at stake. People know what's at stake, but sometimes it just doesn't dawn on them as it should. That's where we come in to say, look, this is what it is, in a different light. Then people begin to find a way to say, you know what, I think I'm going to now have to do this, given the way I now see it. And that's really, for me, the way motivation should work.
Okay. Right. So, in fact, this is another perspective you're putting here. Generally, people believe that they make others change, but you're trying to say that no, the change comes from the individual, just maybe try to show him this is this and this is that. Say, oh, okay, I have seen that, now I can do it, or I have the capacity to change and all the rest.
Absolutely.
Wow. Okay, so how would you, if for any reasons, let us say that you are working with a client and you are trying to make him get better at speaking as a public speaker, but the thing is, he is not motivated, he doesn't have the knack to go to do the thing, how would you buy into his own story so that he will not come out from that shell where he's hiding?
Well, it goes back to the point. I mean, most of my public speaking classes, if not virtually all of them, everyone that shows up wants to face that challenge. Everyone that shows up truly wants to solve that problem. Mm-hmm. That's why they show up.
Right.
To learn the art of it, to be coached through it, to be taught the subject matter. That's why they are there. So I don't spend my time trying to motivate them, mm-hmm. trying to make them see reason or want to. They are there because they want to fix an issue in their lives. And that happens to be the art of speaking in public. So So that takes that issue effectively off the table for me.
Okay, that's good. That's it. So you're not even up to that. That's not your concern. That's not the main concern.
Yes, because people only show up. It's like saying, how do you motivate somebody to eat? You cannot. You really cannot. Because internally, there must be a mechanism that indicates that the tank is empty, I need to refuel. You don't need any motivation for that, especially if you're driving a car. If you're running low on fuel, you know that there will be consequences. You know there will be consequences if this gets out of hand. You don't need any external force to prompt you because you know there will be consequences. I have to refuel. I must refuel. I want to refuel. I need to refuel. Otherwise, I'm going nowhere. So it's in my best interest to show up and get fueling. And that's really more or less the same concept when people show up at the School of Eloquence with regards to public speaking. They've either been embarrassed or they've lost the opportunity to be promoted at work. Someone else was given a job because they could speak well or better than they could, or they are frustrated because they've got so many ideas and they are unable or they are scared of coming out openly before audiences large or small to articulate those thoughts. So that's internally. So when they show up from within them, there is a strong motive for that action. So I'm not that in hand. My context is not to try to motivate them, but rather to fuel their tanks, to let them have whatever information. In fact, most times I find that most of them are able to by themselves make my job a lot easier because they are motivated to learn.
Already, okay.
They're motivated to learn. Things are a lot faster. They ask more questions. They put themselves out there to do the exercising because they are already motivated.
Right.
And it's not me who put that in.
Okay. It's very clear for us now because our listeners will get a picture exactly what it is. That we do not motivate people. We only show them what is right, and already they are, when they are into the picture or they buy the picture, that's it. They are already motivated already. That when they come into your program, they are already motivated to change something in their lives. Then it becomes a lot easier for you.
Exactly.
Right. Well, okay. Now, how would you, for any reason, if listeners, some of them want to key into your story, that is, they want to learn public speaking, do you is it online, for example? Do you do it online, for example?
We're currently working on putting out various online options. I haven't done this for 7 years. I know that we presently have an IT team working on translating or transforming the entire program into an online version that people can have access to either via the typical LMS or through downloads and what have you. Now, the IT guys are the ones modeling this. So all they are using what we've done on ground in real face-to-face classes, and they're developing various online versions that people can tap into. So I cannot tell you for now how it will pan out until they finish their work between now and hopefully the end of come 2014, God willing, we will be able to officially, openly let people have some options that through which they can access some of our programs if they are not able to be here with me in Lagos, Nigeria, for the monthly classes that I run.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good. That's a very wonderful thing. Because when I saw your pedigree, I was kind of attracted, and I wanted to know exactly what it is you do. Now that I know, I have a clearer picture of what it is. Would you accept coming back to our program one day and giving us more insights as to what you do, so that many of our listeners would buy your story much more than, because I have a feeling that you're up and doing now and you want to run away. Would you accept to come in one day, one more time maybe, and tell us more of your story?
Yeah, I mean, that shouldn't be a problem. Just like we've done today. Hopefully, just give me a call or send me an email or whatever. I'm sure that can always be worked out. That's not going to be a problem. As long as there's time to do this, I'm happy. I'll be more than glad to.
So let me not hold you back. Maybe is it possible for you to introduce yourself to our listeners and so that they know who you are exactly?
Well, my name is Ubong Isian, and there's just so much about me that sometimes it's difficult to say which of those should I pick. I run a school called the School of Eloquence. Here in Nigeria, I'm referred to as Nigeria's Mr. Motivator. I have been speaking for over 13 years now, professionally. I belong to the National Speakers Association based in the US called the NSA. I'm a certified speaking professional from the same body. I think, as a matter of fact, I am currently the only certified speaking professional in the whole of the West African sub-region. There are 9 certified certified speaking professionals in the whole of Africa. 8 of them are currently in South Africa. And if you can Google the NSA, and the certified speaking professional designation is not an award, it's an earned designation. You have to earn it professionally to be among the top 6 to 9% of over 10,000 professional speakers in the world that have attained that level of professionalism in terms of speaking professionally. So in a nutshell, given all of that, that would probably be my introduction, or in terms of my profile at a glance. Hopefully in some of your subsequent interviews, we might be able to get a lot more personal, and I might have the opportunity to share my story, how I started, and what I've been able to do, and the work that I have there. And I'm sure that if you're able to do some Googling, if I may use that word, on my personal website, ubongasian.com, or the School of Eloquence website, schoolofeloquence.org, I'm sure you'll have some adequate materials or information that distills my story and my person.
Okay, you started by saying you're very awkward at that, but found out you said much more, which is very good. Now at least I have a clearer picture, and I guess our listeners will also have a clearer picture of who you are or who we're dealing with. All right, thank you very, very much, and I hope I will catch you up again very, very soon.
That describe you best.
This
Then
podcast
you're on the right
was
place.
brought to you
This
by
is
the Motivational Radio
Friends from Paris
host,
with your host,
Longi
Longi Agoha.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being there. Like I always do, I get very renowned artists and actresses and motivational speakers around the world to speak to you. And I am privileged to be speaking to one of them, one of the Nollywood actresses. And she is Yvonne Hayes. So Yvonne, how are you today?
I'm fine, thank you.
Very good. Could you tell our listeners who you are and just tell us here everything about you for a start?
Well, my name is Yvonne Hayes. I'm a Nigerian actress based in London.
Okay.
I started acting last year in 2012.
Okay.
Literally just following my dreams because it's something I've always wanted to do. I hope to get better and establish myself into the wider movie industry here in Europe, America and Africa.
Okay.
Yeah, and I just hope that I inspire other young girls out there who want to do the same thing or anything else with their lives.
That is wonderful. This is a very powerful one. You just started very, very well by saying that you want to inspire young girls. How did you come into acting? Before I start asking you your self-belief systems and all the rest, how did it come? Because you said you just started last year. So you're a greenhorn, if I could say that.
Yes, I am.
Okay. So how did it come?
It's something I've always wanted to do,
Mm-hmm.
but I never really took that step until I was prepared and mature in my mind. Because first of all, I started modeling, and while modeling, I got really comfortable in front of a camera and other people. I just felt the next logical step was to be the actress I always wanted to be. I literally had to push myself, because one thing in life is if you want something, nobody else will get it for you. You have to go and get it yourself. I had to go out there and actualize my dreams, and that's what I've been doing since last year.
Okay, good. Would you say that it started from your self-belief?
Yes, it did, to be honest.
And so what did self-belief do in your life or your career as an actress? How did it start with you? When did you start believing in yourself first?
Well, self-belief is basically confidence in your own abilities or judgment.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just an attitude which allows you to have a positive and realistic view of yourself and your situation. And I think with self-belief comes confidence as well. I knew I wanted to be an actress.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know where to start from, but I felt that my confidence and the belief in myself was a great platform for me, because when you have a dream,
Mm-hmm.
you believe it, you have to get your strength from somewhere, and you have to find it within yourself. So I found it within myself, and that motivated me, bearing in mind what the bigger picture is and where I want to get to, and that just made me forge ahead.
You're making it sound very simple, very, very simple. Could you tell a very young Nigerian girl listening to you, maybe 10, 15, 16 years old girl listening to you, hearing you, first of all, you started by modeling, and that made you, become, you're no longer camera shy, and so now you are an actress. That's another milestone. How would you tell a 15-year-old girl to believe in herself? What would you tell her?
I think the first thing, before you take any decision about your life or where you want to go with your career,
Mm-hmm.
you need to do your research. And the research gives you an indication as to whether or not it's something you really want to do in the long term. So I did my research, and the research involved watching a lot of films, attending a lot of networking events, networking with the right people on Facebook and off Facebook. And when you meet people, you need to tell them what your dreams are and what your aspirations are, because if you don't speak out, nobody would know, and nobody would know to help you. So you need to network with the right people, speak up about what you want to do, ask for help. Don't be too shy, because if you're too shy, you're never going to get there. So these are the things I did. And also, I think prayer is a powerful thing as well. When you pray, whatever religion you practice, you get strength from there as well. And also, when you have the support of your family and your friends, and one important thing I will say is never ever listen to people who are negative about what you want to do, because you're always going to get negativity around you from family and friends and even strangers as well. And you find a lot of the negativity comes from people who, one, they have the same dreams as you have, but they don't know how to actualize it, so they try to put you off. Or two, this comes from people who are just simply jealous of the path you're about to take, because they know they can't do it. They don't have what it takes to do it. Or people who had the time and the chance to do it but never did, and they don't want to see you progress in that path as well. So you have to be strong, and this is where the confidence comes from as well. You know, you have to be confident and strong, and be bold, and just go out there and take it.
Okay. Were you born bold, confident? Were you born there? Did you learn it anywhere? Just joking. Go ahead.
I have to say I wasn't, because I'm a little bit shy.
Yeah, maybe that could be one of the reasons. Okay, go ahead.
I'm a little bit shy, which is why at the beginning of the conversation I mentioned maturity in your mind. When you're mature in your mind and you make a decision that this is what you want to do, you have to speak to people, and you have to surround yourself with inspirational people and people that will motivate you. You have to look for mentors, or whatever you want to call it. It could be someone within the career path that you want to take, or it could be someone out of it, someone who has a good head and a good listening ear, someone who you can go to for advice. You know, when you have all these positivity around you, it's very easy for you to build up the confidence in yourself and go out there and do it.
Okay, so the first step is to surround yourself with the good ones.
Yes.
First of all. Yeah. Find good people who would not put you down first.
Yeah.
And then try to network with them and tell them exactly what you want, and then take it off from there.
Yes.
Wow. That's very fantastic. See, I'm sure any 15-year-old girl listening to you now would say, wow, she must be lucky. Has luck got to do anything here?
I don't believe in luck. I believe in hard work, dedication, because if you rely on luck, you might get disappointed sometimes. I believe in hard work, and I have worked hard, because when you work and you go out there and you strive to be what you want to be, things fall into place. But if you rely on luck, way to do, yes, sometimes along the way, certain things might happen as a result of luck, or fate, or destiny, or anything else. But I think hard work and dedication plays a role. If you have that foundation which is strong, then all these things fall into place.
So could you say somehow that you have realized your dream as a young girl?
Yes, I have, because I'm very happy.
Wow, happiness. How did you arrive to happiness? Is it very easy? Because a lot of people spend all their lives pursuing happiness, and you are a young lady, have arrived. So how did you make it?
I think everybody has the ability to make themselves happy. You just need to know what you want. If you know what you want and it makes you happy, you just go for it. And this is why I say, when you surround yourself with the right positive people, you always find yourself in that zone where you rub minds with the right people. And sometimes people can actually bring something out of you that you never knew that you had. That is very, very possible, and it happens a lot. I've seen it happen many times. Unfortunately, sometimes when you're around negative people, they can sub things in you, and they know what they're doing, but you may not even realize it.
Right. What are the signs of knowing those who are negative? Because I guess they are all around us every time and every day. What are the signs of knowing those who are negative?
I think the sign, they're very pessimistic. Nothing you say or suggest or no idea you bring up is ever good enough for them.
Mm-hmm.
They always look for something negative to strike it down.
Mm-hmm.
And secondly, such people are never happy. If you look into their lives, they're always lacking something.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look even deeper, they lack that thing that you have, which you're trying to bring out and project from yourself.
Mm-hmm.
When they see you trying to project something that they don't have, which they wish they had, they try to suppress it.
So anybody listening to us today should take care of those signs. Make sure that when you see any of these signs that she has just said, maybe what do you need? Do you run away? Do you change? Do you just tell the person to get out of your life? What's the first step?
Sometimes people need help without knowing that they do need help.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's always good to listen to different people, and this is where you have to be strong. I keep going back to confidence, because if you're not strong and confident, it's very easy for you to get sucked in to different negativity around you and all the negative energy. So when I meet someone who's very negative or trying to put me down or whatever, I listen to what they say and I try to logically explain to them the reasons why I don't agree with what they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
So if you tell me I can't do something, I'll ask you, why do you think I can't do it? You have to explain to me and give me a logical answer. And if you can't, I will then tell you the logical reasons and, you know, the steps that I would take to actualize that goal. And if you can't make sense of it, then it will become obvious that you're just trying to put me down for no reason. And sometimes when, like I said before, sometimes you meet people and they know that what you have is what they wish they had,
mm-hmm.
but they don't even realize it, or they know, but they're just trying to pretend. So with people like that, I bring it to light and I just say to them, you know, you could do this as well if you wanted to. And they're like, oh, really? You think I can do it? I'm like, yes, you can. You just need to do A, B, and C.
Mm-hmm.
And in most cases, you find both of you start to do that thing, whatever it is. And, you know, they just go ahead and actualize their goals as well. It's all about listening, knowing what to take from people, knowing how to decipher every information you get and just weed out the chaff. And also, like I said, always have positive people around you as well.
Mm-hmm.
When someone gives you something negative, you go to, if you want to discuss it with somebody else, that's fine. And then sometimes that person can break it down to you and say, look, this is what this person said, this is what you can do, this is what I think the situation is. Just be careful,
mm-hmm.
because they all, yeah.
Okay, good, wonderful. That's very wonderful. This podcast was brought to you by the Motivational Radio France, with your host,
Longi Agoha from Paris.
I'd like to know, do you self-motivate? And if yes, how do you do it?
Self-motivation is the ability to do what you need to do without influence from other people or, you know, any situation you find yourself in.
Mm-hmm.
And you find people that have self-motivation, they always find a reason and strength to complete a task, even when it's challenging.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I always look at the bigger picture. I've always wanted to be an actress,
mm-hmm.
And I knew that it would take a lot of hard work because it's a long journey.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I was looking at the bigger picture, my happiness.
Right.
The happiness and the peace of mind and the satisfaction for me is what motivates me. You have to find your happiness.
Is it a learnable trait?
I think all of us have the ability to find our happiness if you're patient enough with yourself, if you can listen to that inner voice and ask yourself certain questions, because a lot of people out there, they're just like rolling stones, and you know, a rolling stone gathers no moss.
That's right.
So if are just a rolling stone, you have no sense of direction. Nothing motivates you. You're just going with the wind. For me, the happiness that I know that I have in me is what keeps me going, because I want that happiness, and that is the picture in front of me every time I set out to complete a task.
Right. Can I say, listening to you, you're trying to paint a picture before me, and I'm seeing that picture, saying that you, from, I don't know when it started, you knew what you wanted from time. Now, did you go to any school to do that?
Did I go to any school to learn what I wanted?
Yes, because lots of people find it difficult to know exactly what they want from life. Okay, because I know that there are two ways to succeed. First, you need to know what you want, and then you should be ready to pay the price for that. Because everything has a price. So, when did you know what you wanted, and what are the prices have you paid for the happiness you have today?
This goes back to the happiness again, because for me, I realized I wanted to be an actress.
At the age of 10,
while
5?
While I was modeling. When I was about 16, 17.
Right.
And I wanted to be an actress, but the thought of it was daunting, like, oh, I've never done this before. Yes, they say their lines and it looks easy. And at the time, a cousin of mine was an actor, and I used to see him reading the scripts and everything. And a few times he took me on set to see filming and everything, and I got a bit scared, and I said to him, do you know what, I'm not ready yet. Let me just do my modelling where I don't have to talk. But yes, with modelling, I had to talk, but not as much as an actor, or an actress does. So for me, while doing the modelling, I just felt I'll be more happier if I was doing the acting, which I really wanted to do. So it's all about the happiness, and sometimes nothing good comes easy. You have to sacrifice. And for me, what the sacrifices I've had to make are having to juggle my acting with my 9-to-5 job.
Okay.
That is a sacrifice. And also, obviously, as an actress as well, you have the task of attending auditions, whether or not it's summer or winter. There's an audition, you want to go, you get a chance at the film. You go out there, even if it's snowing. For my last film that I won an award for, Shameful Deceits.
All right.
On the day of the audition, it was snowing, but I still went.
Right. Okay. So that's the price you have to pay.
Yeah.
For the code, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Now let's go a little bit into the film industry. I mean, how did you? Okay, you said your uncle or your cousin, used to be an actor, or he still acts. I don't know.
Yeah.
So you saw him act, and then you wanted to be like him. Did it start there, or was it something you started from day one? I mean, how did it come up?
Oh no, it didn't start with him. I was just fortunate to know him as an actor.
Right.
But as a little girl, I watched a lot of TV, a lot of films, a lot of TV series, a lot of drama, theatre plays in school and church, and I was drawn to it. And I could see myself as an actress or a fashion designer. But for me, I wanted to be an actress more than a fashion designer.
Right.
I still want to be a fashion designer, and I'm still working towards it. But for now, the immediate happiness for me lies with the acting. And I found that happiness at quite a young age. It's just that at the time, I just didn't take the necessary steps to follow it up until now.
So that's it. You've realized your dream, which is very good, because many people spend their life not meeting their dreams, or not even realizing it, or not even knowing exactly what it is. So could I say you're fortunate to do that, or just?
I think it's hard work and patience, because you have to be patient to find yourself.
Good.
A lot of people don't take the time to find themselves. They don't know who they are.
Right. Okay, now let me cut in here. You see, because this is one thing, this is motivational radio, so we try to motivate people, try to tell them to take charge of their lives, okay? And you just hit the nail on the head here, that a lot of people spend their lives without knowing exactly what they want. Now, how would you tell, let us go back to another 15-year-old girl, or 20 this time, what advice would you tell a young girl who comes to you and say, listen, Yvonne, I can't seem to understand exactly what I came here to do in life? How would you advise her?
Well, the first question I would ask her is, what sort of things make you happy? Do you feel happy when you're singing? Do you feel happy when you go shopping? Do you feel happy when you watch your mother put on her makeup? Do you feel happy when you talk to people, when you meet a lot of people? Whatever it is that makes you happy, maybe you need to explore it more. And if she says to me, oh, I like reading, then I'd say to her, okay, for example, you like reading, would you like to write? You know, and then you explore it. You have to play with different ideas. And if you don't explore and experiment, you're never going to know and pinpoint exactly what makes you happy.
Okay, so self-exploration is the key, right? You need to try many things before you pin down one thing and say, okay, I want to go by this one.
Yeah.
That's very, very good, because I really believe in the fact that you need to understand who you are. Self-discovery, it's very, very important, because self-knowledge is the key to success, I guess. You need to know exactly what you want and then go ahead, because there's a price to be paid, and if you're ready to pay the price, then the success comes, I guess.
Definitely.
That's very cool. Now let us go into your acting. How many films have you acted already?
I'm featured in about 7 or 8 films.
Under 1 year. My God, you are very fast. You're very fast. So in 2 years, wow, I don't know. That's wonderful. So are you saying, have you said bye-bye already to modeling? Or are you going back to it?
No, I still model and act. I do both because they make me happy and I can do it, so why not?
So could I say you're a very stubborn lady?
I would say that we all have one life to live, and whatever it is that makes you happy, do it. Don't worry about failing. You worry about the chances you miss when you don't try.
Very thoughtful there. I mean, you have the brains, you have the beauty. My God. You almost like a magnet.
Thank you.
Yeah, try. That's cool. That's very, very nice, because you're really motivating our listeners. That's very, very good. So all the young ladies who are listening to you, would you tell them that what you've done so far was very easy or pure hard work?
Like I said, sometimes nothing good comes easy. Everyone has different goals and dreams and aspirations. And sometimes the road to success is difficult. Sometimes it's easy, depending on the type of people and resources you have around you and the environment as well. So for me, I wouldn't say it's been very, very difficult, but I wouldn't say it's been very easy either, because I've been around entertainment for a very long time, because my sisters modeled as well, and that's how I got into modeling. And I've always found myself around people in the entertainment business. For me, that is one part, but the most difficult part is finding yourself, because no matter where you are, if you don't know who you are and what makes you happy, you'll still be running around in circles. And for me, it's building the confidence and the self-belief that I can do this no matter what life throws at me, no matter if people tell me you can't do it or you shouldn't be doing it, you're not raised to do this. Because, for example, with acting, a while ago in Africa, back home where we come from, it was looked upon as not as a profession, but just as a thing you do as a hobby.
Exactly.
But now it's become a profession. It has always been a profession, but it's looked upon now with more dignity and respect.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that was a difficult thing, because a lot of people said to me, oh, well, you want to be an actress, actresses don't have respect, they're loose, they're this, they do that, people don't see them as professionals. But now all that has changed, and like I said, you only have one life to live, and sometimes when you've been through stuff, it brings it nearer to home, these little messages. Because, like, for example, I lost my dad 3 years ago.
Sorry.
Yeah, thanks. And going through that whole process, which I'm still going through now, it just hits it harder to home that life really, really is too short. And you have to focus on your happiness, find yourself, and just do what makes you happy, And I think fear is a terrible thing, because a lot of people are scared of actualizing their dreams because of maybe their environment or people around them, or they don't have the confidence. And I think conquering the fear is very important, because if you don't conquer your fears, you're never going to get the motivation that you need. Because nobody can push you. You're the only person that can push yourself.
This podcast was brought to you by the Motivational Radio Friends from Paris.
with your host, Lonji Agoha.
Right, so let's go to the second question. How can we achieve personal success? That's, just all the things you've enumerated now is all about leading to success itself, because you cannot succeed without having a vision, without taking action, without having a roadmap, and without designing your life the way you want it. Because I believe we all think in pictures, in our heads. We all have images. And we always talk to ourselves every day. See, it is what you discuss with yourself that counts. I believe that very much, because I am speaking to you now. I know there are images in your head. There are things you are thinking about. And then it is left for you to either accept those images or not. And that determines exactly what you become.
Like one of my men said, the picture you have about yourself is what you're going to become.
That's right. You cannot be bigger than what you have in your image. You can't.
Nobody has ever succeeded beyond the level of these pictures, beyond the level of what you can visualize in your mind. Nobody has ever succeeded more than that. But those who think big and act according to their plans, they get there. Don't have any plans on your mind. I don't think.
Is it possible? Is it possible to expand that image?
Yes, it's possible. It's possible. That's where association comes in. Now, I keep telling people around me. I said, when you have vision, it is the dream you have that determines the size of your vision. Mm-hmm. Now, if you're looking at becoming, let me assume your vision is, okay, I want to be a big-time entrepreneur. No, I want to be an entrepreneur. Now, the dream is what determines how big that vision will be. There are so many entrepreneurs everywhere. But it depends on the size of the dream you have. That's why you need to think big. When you think big, there's every tendency that you begin to act in line with your thinking. Now, when you have, I talked about association the other time. If you associate with people of little mind, they will reduce your, they won't be doing a lot of good to you. When you want to take a step, you are on a particular level now, you want to move to the next level, they will tell you, this is enough. It's enough. Why are you stressing yourself? They will make you see reason why you shouldn't
go beyond that.
They make you see reason because they are not going anywhere. Mm-hmm. They are contented with the little they have. They will tell you, after all, why are you bothering yourself? But you see, when you have people of like mind, people who challenge your dreams, people who tell you it's possible, people who tell you, okay, you are in a state now, you have a branch in just one state in your nation. You can go to 10 states. You can move it to 20 states. It's not just about wealth accumulation. It's about living
a life of significance.
Time. It's about making a whole lot of difference.
That's right.
In life. So you need good association. When you have good association, they're going to challenge you. They're going to help your dreaming.
I agree with you. There was somebody who said, I think it was Les Brown who said, that if you are the guru in your group, you have to change a group.
You have to change a group. You definitely have to change the group. Relationships are supposed to be 3 levels. You have people you look up to. You have people you are within the same, your peers. Then you have people that look up to you. But when you dwell too much with people that they look up to you, you become a local star.
Right.
You need to look further. You need to look ahead. You are here now, fine. You have achieved some level of success, but life is in a continuum. You need to keep pushing until you draw your last breath. I think we need to be adding more to whatever we are doing. It's not about, it's not just about money. No. It's not just about money all the time. But people made the world what it is now. Before we leave the world, we need to leave a mark in the sands of time. We need to make a whole lot of difference in whatever we are doing. So we need to keep pushing. We need to choose the right association. We need to do more.
I agree with you, because I think that's what somebody said, that you should go to where there is no path and make the path yourself and leave your footmarks along the line. You leave your footprints along the line.
Correct.
Yes, because if you go with the crowd, nobody is going to see your footmarks along the road. But if you go where there is no way, you can make people will follow you through. They will see your footmarks and follow that through. So I believe in the fact that first of all you have to be different, a little bit different. Not crazy, but you have to be a little bit different, do things differently, and people will recognize that, because if you do things like every other person, nobody recognizes that. But do it a little bit.
There's no point, like I said, there's no point. Everybody on the earth, you are different from me now. The way you look at it, you're different from me.
Sure.
So by the time I do everything exactly the way you're doing it, there's no need for me then.
Yeah, sure.
There's no need for me.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of carbon copy, right? Just copy, and that's not very good. Okay, let us go to the next one. How do we know that we have attained our personal success? Are there signs?
Okay. Now, that question takes me back to the first thing I talked about. I was talking about vision. I said the starting point for anything in life is to know where you are going to. Now, to answer the question you just asked now, I'll add one more to it. To answer that question, I'll say vision plus stock taking will tell you whether you are moving close to your set goals or your set objectives in life. What do I mean by that? Now, let me assume that, the vision I have for my organization, before I can term a particular department in my organization as a subset of the organization that is doing well, quote unquote successful, if we must have our turnover must be so and so.
Mm-hmm.
Now, where stock taking comes in, we measure what we have achieved per time vis-a-vis the vision we have set, vis-a-vis the objectives we have set. So where there's no measurement, where there's no stock taking, you can't know whether you are moving close to your vision or not. You won't know whether you are successful. You won't know whether you are moving close to where you are set for yourself. So we need to know where we are going, and we need to take stock. We need to do measurement. We need to measure where we are on the track. Are we still on the track? How close are we to it? When are we going to get there? What need do we need to add? What do we need to remove? So we need to balance visioning plus stock taking. When I say stock taking, I'm talking about measuring the projection against the actual. I'm sure that answers the question.
Okay, good. That's not too bad, really. So it's all in line with personal success and personal strengths. Are they the same? Are they one and the same, or just maybe two things together?
We have been talking about success. Let me go to strength so that maybe that would be good to my listeners.
Okay.
Now, when you're talking about your strengths, three things are involved, or let me say three basic things are involved. Your strength is a mixture of your talent, your knowledge, and your skills.
Okay.
Let me say it again. Your skills, your
strengths
are a mixture of your talent, your knowledge, and your skills. You see, when all this comes together, you are the best in you comes out. When you have the mixture of the talent, the knowledge, and skills that you have built over time, you are it will give you a leverage to achieve whatever set objectives you have set for yourself. Now, I know by the time we start talking about it, it will take us to the areas of gifts, it will take us to the area of natural makeup, it will take us to the area of several other things. But let me just give you the space so that you can throw more questions so that I can actually address them directly. But to just address the question you have asked, strength is largely concerned with three major things: your talent, your knowledge, and your skills.
Okay. And these things are developed all along, while you're growing up, your strength, skills. You have to develop these things.
You have to. There's no man on the earth who is giftless. While we all have some level of gift in our land, I'm talking about natural endowment now, and you see one marks the difference between one man and the other one is, while Mr. A has some level of talent, he begins to develop it. The Mr. B probably feels see, when you don't hone your skills, it stays in its latent form. You can't do anything. You can't do anything. That's why what is his name? John C. Maxwell wrote the book Talent is Not Enough. When you have the talent, you still need to work on the talent so that you can maximize the best from the talent.
For me, what I would call talent is, or those people call talented today, those who pay millions, especially like footballers. These are people who identify their talents early and started working on them. Because it is the amount of work you put in your talent that makes it develop.
Exactly. Now, what a raw talent will give you, you can never compare it with what a talent that has been developed will give you. Now, when you see gold in its raw form,
that's right.
But when the gold passes through fire, passes through high level of fire, it becomes what we call gold now, and everybody wants to associate with it. The same man that is wearing that gold round on his neck, when it's been worked on, might not even want to touch it when the gold is in its latent form.
Right.
So that goes a long way to explain to us that your talent, your natural giftings are not enough until you begin to work on them. They might not even deliver the level of opportunities that we should have gotten from them. So we need to work on our talents, we need to work on our gifting, we need to work on our skills so that we can make the best out of life.
Okay. Wow, this is great. Tell our listeners who you are. If you have any books, if you have a website, do you have any phone numbers? Just expose yourself. Who are you? Tell our listeners who you are.
All right. Now, my name is Busayo Ogumade, as you have heard. Busayo is spelled Busayo. Ogumade is spelled Ogunmade. You can reach me on busayoogumade.com. That's my website. That's my personal website.
Okay.
Now, Busayo Ogumade is a business development consultant. I'm a trainer. I'm an author. I've published how many books now? I've published about 5 books that I've written. We have over 50 audio learning programs on CD. We have them. If you check our website, you should be able to see some of them there.
Okay.
Now you can reach me on 234-80-3410-1694.
Okay. Right.
I'm passionate about personal development, business success, and leadership.
Great. So I hope our listener that you're going to come back again.
Just invite me. I'll definitely come back.
All right. Okay. It's been a very big pleasure speaking to you, Busayo. I am very delighted to have talked to you today, and I hope I will catch you again very, very soon.
Oh, thank you.
Ambitious and motivated are words that describe you best. Then